wouldn't be winter in Delaware without miserable fucking weather.
Is he playing these?
No.
I don't know.
Because did you hear the one for the superhero? He was.
No,
this
I
might be
didn't.
corny, but I'm gonna. And then he doesn't.
Oh yeah. I did the what is it? The Silver Lantern Corps oath. You remember
Oh,
that?
God.
Oh, that wasn't just off the top of your head?
No, I made that years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you remembered it.
Yeah. Yeah, I come up with that when Ben made that logo for us. So I was like, oh, well, it's the Silver Lantern Corps. That's what we are. We're the Silver Lanterns.
Right, yeah, no, I remember that.
Which represents cynicism.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah. So welcome, everybody, to Threading and Dreading. We have a light crew tonight, but we are going to get through another list of this movie trailers and some movie news and some ranting about some bullshit. And I'm going to go around the room and have everyone introduce themselves. To my right, we have...
The goddess of gore.
Yay!
Remembered.
This week. Yay!
And she says it's so cute.
I know.
Like, I can see her avatar being a tiny little blonde, like a young little blonde girl with pigtails and a fucking hacksaw. I'm the goddess of gore. Like, why? Because I'm the thing of nightmares.
Exactly.
You don't want to fuck with me.
Okay, crusty.
And you've been kind of tired recently. You've been worked to the bone at work, haven't you?
Hot.
Well, it's just
Hey.
Zing.
opening earlier
Yeah.
is what's doing it.
Nah, it's a pain in the butt. And by the time it hits like the week before Christmas, they're gonna start going to 24 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
What?
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Who needs clothes 24 hours?
Exactly.
I'm naked most of the day anyway.
Let's hear, who needs to shop for,
Well,
I don't know, garments at 3 in the morning
in
if
all
it's not
fairness, there are people who do like shift work, like nurses or something
Black Friday?
like
Okay,
that.
all right.
If they don't
Fair
have any
enough.
other time to shop, like when they're working.
We're not really fans of nurses anymore in our group.
Oh.
So
That's not a knock on all nurses, though.
they can fucking get it.
That's not a knock on all nurses.
No.
All right. Yeah, no.
Nurses are still pretty important.
They are.
You go to the hospital and stuff like that.
I'm going to go to the hospital. You're
Yeah.
that Paul.
Exactly.
You can fucking wait. No, but
We need you to fill out all of these
Yeah.
paperwork.
why do you need to know my top favorite movies? What is it? There's a knife in my body.
Sir, we cannot see you until all the paperwork is finished.
And you don't bleed on it. 'Cause then you'll have to start over.
And across from the goddess of gore, we have.
A superhuman aficionado.
And how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Good.
I've also been pretty overworked.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Fucking 2 jobs and shit.
Yeah, you weren't here when we had our Black Friday recording, but you were quite busy that day, I'm sure.
Yeah, I worked. Actually, I woke up to probably the greatest text I've ever gotten, and I'm talking like topping like nude texts or like I'm at the door with breakfast open.
Right.
I woke up at 6 or 6:30 to be at the store at like 8.
Mhm.
But I had to take care of the dogs or whatever,
Right.
and I woke up and I had a text. I had a missed call and 2 texts from my supervisor, and the text said, "Come in today like 11:30 to 10:30," and I was like, "I can do that." I just rolled back over, and the dogs were so confused. They were like, "No, we know we heard the alarm. What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm going back to die."
So you lay back down, the dogs are like, let's just go with this.
Yeah. They did not go with this. Juno continued to lick my face. Darwin and Appa took turns jumping on me. Half an hour later, I was like, "Fine."
He used to get like that that video that we've seen where the guy puts the laser pointer on someone else and the husky jumps up and
Yeah.
down on him.
I've done that before. I've done that before. And my parents, the first Christmas that we had my Australian Shepherd, they woke me up by doing that.
Ugh.
Nice.
Yeah, they just opened the door, and I heard my dad. I heard in the distance, because I'm a fucking heavy ass sleeper. So somewhere in the distance of my dream, over a mountain far away, I heard an echo of, "Go get him, Jake." Jake. And I was like, that was an odd noise.
In your
And
dream,
then-
you're like, wait, fuck!
Yeah, I was like, I have a feeling something bad's about to happen. Can I avert this? No, I cannot. And then, I was like, ah! And my dad's sitting there with a laser pointer. "It's Christmas, fucker." Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Our parents' previous dog, Lady, she was a great dog, but she would have this knack for, if it was too early in the morning, she would jump onto your bed and do this thing where she would just run back and forth full speed between the living room and your room, whatever room it was. Run onto your bed, bark at you once, and then repeat the process. Just back and forth for like 5 minutes. I'm like, dog, stop.
When I stay at my house, my alarm goes off, I shut it off, I lay back down, I go through Facebook or whatever, and I just wait for Appa to wake up. And eventually he moves out from under my bed, gives me a dirty look, he stretches, and then he jumps on me. At Steve's house, the alarm goes off, I shut it off, I turn around, and I've got two Shelties staring at me on the bed, and I've got Appa staring at me from the floor, and I'm like, oh my God.
Rise.
It's horrifying. Steve said he woke up the other morning. I got to sleep in on Sunday because I was off, and Steve was like, Darwin woke me up the nicest way. And I was like, really? He like jumped on your groin? Because that's how he wakes me up.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, he brought me his Kong, and he very gently put it in my hand.
Aw.
And just like nudged my hand a couple times. And then I looked at him, and he like slobbered all over my face.
Oh, that's great.
I was like, yeah, that's not how he wakes me up.
It's pretty adorable.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you know my parents' dog, Sparky, right? Well, my parents just finished making Christmas cards for this year. And the cover of the Christmas card is him on top of our dining room table with an empty plate and a glass of milk. And it says, Santa gave me coal, so I ate his cookies. That's pretty good.
Appa would fucking eat the cookies if we left the cookies out. My God.
Before we finish up this topic on dogs, I've realized now that our parents' dog is now spoiled rotten. For a while, he was having digestive problems, and the vet said, try this, like, concentrated, like, pumpkin, almost paste, that's, like, basically pure pumpkin, and actually helps dogs' digestive tracts. I'm like, oh, okay, sure.
Maybe we can get it for you.
No.
I'll put it in all his food.
Right.
Where's Mike? He had his pumpkin paste. He's pooping.
So they put that every other day on, like, his wet or dry food, whatever it may be, and he loves it. But now he won't eat his food without the pumpkin paste. He's like, no, I need my pumpkin. And like, this damn dog will not eat his food without pumpkin spice.
Appa doesn't give a shit. As long as it's in his bowl, it's gone. I mean, veggies. He's just like, what the fuck is that? I don't even know. But fucking doesn't even care. All right.
So let's get into the movie news because we've ranted about dogs for about 15 minutes now.
We can start a dog podcast.
Hey, I would love a dog podcast, but...
I'm just going to be like, she was our win. Wow. And
so, first bit of news, I'm sure you've seen this over the last couple days, but it is that Mark Hamill will be playing the Trickster on The Flash.
yeah, even better. So we're watching, I'm glad you brought this up. We're watching The Flash
Right.
on CW. I love it. I think it's fucking great. So, Chicago John, you can fucking suck it. I bought the 80s show from work because it was like fucking $5.
Right. It's only 1 or 2 seasons, right?
It's like one season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we're watching it last night. Watched a couple episodes. Finally, we've had it for a fucking month. But I was like, let's fucking watch it because of that news.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, fucking let's watch it. And one of the main characters is this chick, Dr. Tina something, or I don't fucking know. And I'm like, who the fuck is this chick? So I look her up. She like dated Wally for a while, even though the show's about Barry. And I look her up when I look her up, it's like her character on The Flash on CW. And I was
really?
like, what? No, this is labeled wrong. She's on the 80s show. So I scroll down and she's on the 80s show. And then on today's news, on tonight's episode, she's reprising her role.
Oh, really?
As the same character.
Really?
And I was like, that's fucking cool.
That's cool.
Also, it's really fucking gross because she dates Wally, who is Iris's nephew, and she's going to be an old head right now. Which is going to put her in her 60s or 70s. Just saying. That's yuck. But yeah, I did see that. And the guy who played the Flash in the old show plays Barry's father in this show.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So they brought back a couple members. But I am super excited about Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
I wonder if he shaved.
I'm sure he'll shave.
I mean, like, because you're looking at me like I'm weird. Because he's got a big beard as Luke.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Old man Skywalker's got a beard.
Yeah. But I did hear this though. So
It's weird.
his role in the upcoming show is that he's going to be serving a life sentence in Iron Heights prison, and he helps Barry and Detective West to foil a citywide attack from a wannabe trickster eagerly following in the original's deadly footsteps. So he's actually playing the trickster, but now someone's becoming a copycat and is doing his old stuff.
I'm down with that.
And so they come back to the old trickster and are like, we need your help on this.
I would really like to, and Steve was like, I really hope they don't use the original suit. But I was like, dude, I fucking hope they do.
That original, well, you might see it near Mark Hamill. I don't think the new guy will wear
No,
that
like,
suit.
I want Mark Hamill to wear it. Like, I want season 2 for him to fucking break out and be in the old school suit.
Have you seen this suit that Mark Hamill wore in the 90s show? It
Not-
is
no,
so
not
fucking
awful.
bad. It is so bad. It's just like patchwork
Yeah.
of like polka dots and plaid. It's just terrible.
It's
I'm like,
fantastically
holy
awful.
crap.
Because, so, the trickster is a jester,
Okay.
whereas the Joker is a clown.
Uh-huh.
So, he had, the patchwork and the spots, and in the books, he had, like, the jingly hat.
Right.
So, I was so excited.
Um,
I just want to fucking see Grodd. I fucking want to see Grodd so bad.
They've been teasing a lot with the show. They recently teased, who was it? Not Reverse Flash, but Professor Zoom, right?
Reverse Flash.
Reverse Flash. Okay.
Yeah. They teased him in the first episode, and then I think in the 7th or 8th, he came back
Okay.
because he kills Barry's mother in the first episode
Oh.
when he's a kid. So the whole thing is about how like his dad was framed for this, not necessarily framed. His dad was arrested for the murder of his mother, which is kind of a Flashpoint paradox.
Right.
How it happened because Reverse Flash went back in time and killed her.
Right.
They lead you very, very sternly to believe that this scientist who's helping Barry is from the future and could be the Reverse Flash. And for a while I was thinking that, and now that they're like really like, look at this that he knows, and even though he's in a wheelchair, he can walk, but nobody knows, and he's really, really like not that great a guy. And I looked at Steve in the last episode, I was like, I don't think that's the Reverse Flash. And he's like, now that they're like hinting at it, you don't.
It's too obvious.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I was like, in the beginning, it was like folded in. Like, yeah, if we only hint a little bit, it could be it. But at this point, I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you've seen the images that they had.
I have.
And that fucking suit is sweet.
It is.
But I think the guy's too short.
But regardless, I love that they're bringing him back for this. I think that's great.
Yeah.
There are some people who had commented, well, if you're bringing him back for DC, why don't you have him be like an old Joker? And I'm like, for one, you can't fucking do that.
No.
Even though it's DC, that ship has sailed. He has said since Arkham City came out that he is not going to be playing the Joker anymore in any form. What?
Did he ever? I thought he only did voice work
did.
as
He did.
Joker.
Right.
Okay.
But they wanted him to say, oh, well, they wanted to see him as like a really old, fucked up Joker for once, instead of just being a voice to actually put a face to it.
Nah,
What's funny, too,
I
is
don't
that
think
he
that's necessary.
voiced the Joker in the live-action Birds of Prey show. Somebody
he?
else did the body, and he did the voice work in the flashback.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's only ever done voices, but, I mean, he already got in a car accident after that, so maybe he should just chill.
Yeah. But,
And then how pissed would I be, right? Immediately pissed off that they had a Joker, they fucking had a Joker for the movies, and they're recasting him.
yeah.
I'd just go find an exec somewhere and punch them in the throat. I wouldn't even tell them why. I'd be like, give me a clipboard so I can hit you in the jugular. I need this to hurt, but not be fatal.
But anyway, moving on to the next bit of news. It's that Sci-Fi has just confirmed a new series, which is going to be released in about a year's time, which is Krypton.
All about Clark's grandpop.
Right. I don't know how to feel about this right now.
I feel like it's stupid.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is the point?
Right, like, I don't really care about his grandfather. His father, maybe.
I don't even care about that. You know what this is? This is, hey, we have a shitty story, and we don't, like, have anything else to put on. Hey, let's name it something that people will recognize, and then name the characters other things that people will associate with this, and then fucking make money.
Right.
That's all this is.
Right. Now, let me give you a little bit of backstory on this. So,
The planet didn't blow up yet.
No, you're right. Now, the synopsis of this is, it's from DC Comics and Warner Horizon Television, and it's years before the Superman legend we know. The House of El was shamed and ostracized. The series will follow Man of Steel's grandfather as he brings hope and equality to Krypton, turning a planet in disarray into one worthy of giving birth to the greatest superhero ever known. To which I said,
not even a little bit.
Right, but I also said, okay, but we know they're all going to die.
Right, like, I don't give a shit about the state of your economy. You're all going to blow the fuck up.
Right.
Oh, yay. Do you think that I want you to be happy when you die? Like, yes, give them all hope so we can watch them explode.
Yeah. Now, a couple things about this. First off, this idea was penned by a couple of people. First off being David S. Goyer. Now, I know we talked about David S. Goyer in the Superhero Preview podcast. He wrote the Dark Knight trilogy.
Right.
But he's also been attached to a lot of bad superhero properties over the years. So this is either a blessing or a curse. We don't know just yet. But the other person who penned it was Ian Goldberg, and he works on Once Upon a Time. So he's at least used to teleplays and working in that medium. Now,
the last 2 seasons of that sucked balls.
Right. Goldberg is set to draft a pilot, and Goyer will be an executive producer. So he may not even be like penning this. He's just going to be kind of half-ass funding it, kind of.
It's on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Right.
Okay? There's one good show on the Sci-Fi Channel, and that's Haven.
And I've never seen Haven.
That show was fucking awesome.
We were trying to watch Helix for a while, but we kind of fell off on Helix.
We watched Helix. It was all right.
Yeah.
I liked it. Steve really liked it because they did a really good job with the science. Second season starts soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
I don't think
get caught up on that.
I think I missed the last episode of the first season, but I didn't really care.
I'm interested in Ascension. It's coming out soon.
Yeah, so are we.
Yeah.
Steve's excited because that chick's from Babylon. Not Babylon. Babylon?
I just like the idea of them going out and thinking they're trying to save mankind, and they come back like, oh, mankind didn't die, so...
Battlestar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was like, she's from Battlestar. I was like, oh, is that Katie Sackhoff? And then I went on my little tangent, and he's like, no, this is a different blonde from Battlestar. I was like, oh, you know all those blonde white women look the same.
But announced with this was a couple shows that are very, very in early development, but I don't know if you had heard about them or not. It's that CBS is developing a Supergirl show, and TNT is developing a Teen Titans spinoff called Titans.
Is it going to be live action?
Yeah.
That'd be fucking baller.
I was like, yeah, I want to see a Titan show.
Yeah, I do.
And it's been confirmed that the Robin in the show is not Tim Drake, but Dick Grayson.
Well, Dick Grayson founded it.
Right. But in most of the renditions we know, it's Tim Drake, who is the Robin in the...
In both cartoons, though, in both Teen Titans and Young Justice, it was Dick.
Well, no, I know in Young Justice it was Dick, but I thought in the Teen Titans show it was Dick...
it was Dick. They never actually called anybody by their names.
Right,
Raven.
right.
But when Beast Boy, I think, went to the future, he was Nightwing.
No, Starfire. Starfire went to the future.
Whoever. Somebody went to the future, and he was Nightwing.
Right.
They went to the future twice.
Oh,
Beast Boy, I was thinking Teen Titans Go. They went to the future also. But in that, yeah, and he was Nightwing. So
I don't watch
Dick.
too much Teen Titans Go.
It's goofy.
It's very goofy.
It's funny at times. It's like those like DC shorts.
I love the DC shorts, but I would just rather have the Teen Titans show back. You know?
It was good. Look up the one though where Raven and Starfire break Jinx out of jail so they can party.
Right, you told us about that.
That one was fucking funny. No, I'd be fucking thrilled about that.
Right. So I mean, and I would.
Do they have who the other members of the team will be?
They do not. They haven't even announced anything. I mean, I would assume we're going to get. Well, they're making a Cyborg movie. I don't know if we're going to get Cyborg, but that hasn't stopped them before.
No.
I assume we're going to get Raven. We're probably going to get Starfire.
Well, we might not get Raven.
Right.
Or Starfire. I mean, if they go old school, we'll get Wonder Girl.
Right.
We'll get Aqualad will most likely be in it.
Right.
Speedy. Some incarnation of Speedy.
Was Terra in the old ones?
Terra joined later on.
Right. Trying to remember the old ones.
Kid Flash.
Right.
Or Impulse. So, in a recent episode of Flash, somebody called him Bart. And he was like, my name's Barry. And I got super excited. But
I don't know what to say about Krypton. I just think it's stretching. It's stretching too far.
Oh, it's fucking. It's just all stretch.
Right. I don't know. It's just too much.
I have no faith.
And some people might care about Cal's dad. No one really cares about his grandfather. I'm sorry.
Shit about his dad either. The only interesting thing about his father is that he supplied Thomas Wayne with the technology to found Wayne Enterprise, or to bring Wayne Enterprises back from bankruptcy.
Yeah.
It's the only interesting thing. And now his son works for Bruce anyway because Wayne Enterprises owns the Daily Bugle.
This is true. So, next bit of news we have is that it has been confirmed that Disney is planning to make their own Robin Hood franchise. Now,
They have one.
What do you mean?
They have a Robin Hood movie.
They have a movie, not a franchise.
Okay.
So what are they going to do that's different?
Couldn't they just like release toys?
You would think. Now,
I like the old school movie. Like, he's a fox.
Yeah.
I just
love
found out that the
movie.
hamster dance is just the song that Little John whistles in the beginning of that movie.
Right.
Technofied.
right,
I did not know that.
right.
I had to
You're
find
talking
out
about
that somebody told me.
You're talking about the anthropomorphic one, the 1973 one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pomorphic.
Yeah, and I like that version, but Disney has confirmed.
Steve did that the other day, and I was like, anthropomorphic? And he's like, shut the fuck up. He's like, you don't always get words right. And I was like, but the couple I do?
That's all that matters.
Yeah, I was like, just don't ask me to spell.
So, Deadline is reporting that the studio has acquired an original script from newcomer screenwriter Brandon Barker, and the script is called Nottingham and Hood. And Disney plans to make an entire 3 series of films out of it.
This sounds like Robin Hood in the ghetto.
Oh, yeah.
Did you
That's
get
what
that
I
feel
thought,
too?
yeah.
All this Nottingham and Hood, all of a sudden he was in like an alleyway with a beanie.
Oh, God.
And he was just like, I'm going to rob these rich folk and give it to my homeless friends.
Is it going to be like a Disney Channel movie?
No.
Oh.
It's going to be basically a new Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's live action?
It's live action. Yeah.
What?
To which the first thing I said was,
Can
please,
it be Johnny Depp?
No! Don't put Johnny Depp in it. For the love of God, he's done enough work with Disney
He'll
recently.
be the sheriff.
I don't
Oh
give a
my
shit,
God.
dude. He was great as fucking Jack. I don't even care. He was the only good thing about
The
that
fifth
movie.
one is due out. I think the fifth one's due out this summer.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So we should be seeing a trailer for that sometime soon. But
I didn't really like the last one, but yay.
Disney owns Depp's soul right now. It's like, Depp, come on, man. Do something else.
He
What, you
plays
mean make another movie with Tim Burton?
Yeah. To be fair, yes, he's working outside Tim Burton right now. But everything he's done recently was either Pirates of the Caribbean or The Lone Ranger or Alice in Wonderland or
now he's on Into the Woods.
Into the Woods. Everything he's doing is Disney.
Steve and I were joking the other day about how he loves Burton and how I loved Burton's older stuff before it was Burton.
Right.
When it was still like, oh, that's really new. And how it wasn't like, oh, yeah, well, I get it. That there's black and white stockings and
Yeah.
crazy hair.
Oh,
And
yeah.
right. It looks like Whoville
Yeah.
in black and white. And one of the things I brought up was that fucking Burton will just like hire Depp. I was like, I really want to know what those conversations are like when the three of them are done with their opium-filled orgy, and they're just like, so I want to make a musical. Can you sing? You just heard me make noises. You're right. You can't sing. So anyway, you want to be Sweeney Todd? Yeah, sure.
You know what? Can you just fuck my wife on screen? Please?
Yeah, and that's what I said. I was like, I feel like most of the phone calls are like, hey, Johnny, couple things. One, can you come over and fuck my wife? Also, we haven't done a movie together in like 24 hours. Like, are we fighting? No. I'm also, by the way, I'm currently fucking your wife. I'm actually in the back room. Oh my God, why did you answer the phone? I thought it was important. But yes, I think we should do a movie when I'm done. Also, can I fuck your wife in the movie? I think that you should. Awesome.
Pretty much. So,
All of his movies are about like Helena being obsessed with him.
right.
Can you imagine that divorce?
Oh, God.
Like, why did they get divorced? It turned out she really was obsessed with him. Really?
Who knew?
You didn't get that
So,
from all of the casting?
my only thought on this is, I mean, Disney is looking to get their next franchise of live action when Pirates is done. Pirates is going to be done after the 6th one.
It doesn't need to be done.
For Disney it does.
But it doesn't.
Because they need another live action thing
But
to
it can
latch
be,
onto.
It can be like Uncharted. It can be like, what's the next mythological thing we can just throw into this shit? It's gonna be like Pirates of the Caribbean 7, Poseidon.
No, it's gonna turn into Pirates of the Caribbean. Captain Jack has rickets because he's getting old.
Johnny Depp's never getting old. You crazy?
I don't think rickets has anything to do with being old.
Oh, fine, arthritis, whatever.
I have arthritis, and I'm not old. I'm also not positive that I have arthritis, but I might, and I'm certainly not old. Did he just call me old? I'm younger than you. Get off my lawn.
And do you have any thoughts on this? I mean, them making another Robin Hood. I mean, we just got the Robin Hood with Russell Crowe and what's her name, Kate Blanchett a while back.
I mean, we got that one. We got one,
and
like
that one was
2 years
pretty fucking bad. I'll
we
admit.
got one like right before that. Like, the last good Robin Hood movie that I can remember was fucking Men in Tights. Like, and it wasn't even a serious movie. And before that, the only one I really enjoyed was the anthropomorphic one.
Yeah.
I just feel like with the title that they're going with.
Okay, the title may change. That was just the name of the script.
Nottingham in the Hood.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't.
It could just be called Nottingham.
Scares me.
Nottingham would be fine with me. Just call the first one Nottingham, and I'd be okay with that.
I don't even care. And then he was on Doctor Who, and that was fucking awful. Oh
Wait,
my
what?
God.
Robin Hood was on Doctor Who.
Robin Hood was on Doctor Who.
Yeah, I have not actually seen that
You
one.
lost me.
Yeah. But
It was this episode, like, it was pretty much based on, like, the point of the episode was the things that we think are myths might not actually be myths.
Okay.
And I was like, I mean, that was the only one they focused on, but I was like, this is dumb. I don't care.
But if we have a little bit of time, and yeah, we do, we're going to get one last bit of movie news here, and there was a trailer we talked about a month ago that we ended up not airing because we ranted so much and so long about it that I feel like it was just going to start a flame war on our channel. So
Whoa, gay bash.
No, not that kind of flame
Oh,
war.
my bad.
It would create just a lot of unnecessary chatter that we don't need. But I am going to talk about what's that?
I said that was still pretty anti-gay.
Sorry. Well,
Mousy ass.
the movie we're talking about is Saving Christmas.
What?
Right, exactly. If you don't know what this is, Saving Christmas
Then
was...
you should just not listen because you don't need to know what it is.
You didn't see the trailer for it, which is good. It's very good you didn't see the trailer for this. But Saving Christmas was a Kirk Cameron film that came out about a week and a half ago. And the trailer was god-awful. And I'm like, this is going to be probably one of the worst films of the year. Turns out it's one of the worst films of all time.
Great.
Right now, it holds the #1 spot for worst film on IMDb.
Wow.
Ever. It holds a 1.5 rating on IMDb.
Who's in this movie?
No one notable. The lead actor is Kirk Cameron.
Growing Pains.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I just want to look at the movie.
Oh.
So here is what has happened because of this. The movie is god awful. It's been
flame war.
it's been panned by every major critic from across the world, basically. But
Across the world.
That's not what's happening according to Kirk Cameron. According to Kirk Cameron, it is that he's been the target of an atheist conspiracy.
Is he the atheist or are we the atheists?
We are the atheists.
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
He has come out and said this when he learned that, his film has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 1.5 on IMDb. He came out and said, we need to storm the gates of Rotten Tomatoes. All of you who love Saving Christmas, go rate at Rotten Tomatoes right now and send the message to all the critics that we decide what movies we want our families to see. If 2,000 of you out of the 2 million who like this, apparently 2 million people like Saving Christmas, take a minute to rate Saving Christmas, it will give a film a huge boost, and more will see it as a result. Thank you for support and putting the joy of Christ back in Christmas.
How the shit is this on fucking IMDb, and the cast is 5 people, only one of which has a headshot?
Because the movie was shot for $500,000, and it made $3 million. That's why it's on IMDb.
Saving Christmas will hold little interest for anyone. Hold on, I have to wait for this to load on my LTE because I refuse to connect to your Skynet.
My Skynet is perfectly fine.
It's too single-minded in its instructional purpose, too averse to multi-dimensional characters. Whoa.
Okay, I'll give you the rundown of this movie, Paul, okay, so you don't have to read that. The basis of the movie is,
Director Doan offers no storytelling pizzazz. The lighting is careless. The pacing is deadly. The occasional stabs at comedy fall flat. Ultimately, Saving Christmas has nothing to share that Linus Van Pelt hasn't already said better in A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Damn.
Well, so
that.
you heard it here. Probably not first, but you certainly heard it here.
Now, here's the thing. After Kirk Cameron made this plea on Facebook, Rotten Tomatoes actually surged to 90% on its rating. But like, now it's a 90% film. But then it immediately dropped right back down when people were like, no, you actually are like lying on Rotten Tomatoes. And there's like just a huge outcry of people saying, no, this film is shit. Just to give you a little perspective on where this now ranks on IMDb, there's a list they have of the bottom 100 worst films of all time. Number 23 is from Justin DeKelly.
Okay.
Okay. Number 15 is Space Mutiny, which is something Kim and I have seen.
Okay.
We'll have to watch the Mystery Science Theater of that sometime.
Okay.
Number 12 is Manos, the Hands of Fate,
Oh, Lord.
which is another thing on Mystery Science Theater. Fucking awful film. Number 6 is Disaster Movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm not
Number
sure if I saw that
2 is Birdemic, which I don't know if you've ever seen Birdemic.
Was that the thing on like NBC or something?
I think it was actually on Sci-Fi.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like those terrible sci-fi movies to the umpteenth degree. It was just the worst piece of shit you'll ever see.
Not gonna lie, I totally have a Sharknado Pops figure on my desk at work because I thought the design was crazy cool.
That's okay. That's
But
fine.
I swear I'll never see the movie. Also, I kind of wish that they made the Pops figure into a coffee mug because I think that'd be the greatest coffee mug in the entire world.
Get them to make that for you. But beating out all of those is Saving Christmas
At number 1?
at number 1.
Jesus Christ.
Right. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, literally, Jesus Christ, yeah. Here's the thing about this. I really, 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 really hate it when directors, producers, all these execs come out and say, go on these websites and give our movie a positive rating. Let people decide for themselves, all right? If your movie sucks, it fucking sucks.
But haven't you seen The Giver? When people have a choice, they always choose wrong. Also, I really like that movie. I know that it got a lot of heat, but it was actually, with the exception of the sci-fi bits, which I still don't remember in the book. I actually really, really liked that movie.
I read the book, and we didn't see The Giver, but I wasn't really interested in it.
We Redbox stuff that we're not totally interested in, but that we're interested enough to Redbox. We did that and Neighbors was fucking funny as shit. Holy fuck. I'm a lot of it in love with Zac Efron. Not even gonna lie.
I know.
But anyway, sorry.
No, that's okay. My only thought on it is this. If you want to make a Christian film, that's fine. My only problem is, make it a competent film. Make sure you tell a story. Make sure you actually know what the hell you're doing. Because if the movie is bad, don't sit there and say, it's because we're attacking Christians. No, you might have just made a piece of shit. Admit to it and move on.
Yeah, because Mike's a Christian, and he hated it too.
Just the trailer, I was like, oh my god, I think I'm going to throw up. Like, it was so fucking bad.
Well, it just didn't make any sense. Like, it didn't seem like it knew what it wanted to say.
No, it was trying to sit there and say, we're against all the consumerism and all the ways that Christmas is advertised now, which is a fine message, and then they go around and do that in the fucking movie.
Yeah, they say this is what you should be doing for Christmas.
Yeah, like, all the feasting and the shopping and the dancing. Like,
this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Wait. Who dances for Christmas?
I always dance.
Apparently in this
Christmas.
movie they dance.
You dance?
No.
Are we talking like crunk or like?
I go out and strip, and that's how I make my money.
See,
we need to talk.
I thought that was you.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
Have you ever seen the SNL?
Taking the stage, a goddess of gore.
The Christian goddess of gore. Have you ever seen the SNL skit with Tina Fey with where she did Girls?
No.
They do a little dance sequence at the end of that, and she's like, she's not Ukrainian, but it's something like that, and she's doing like the little spin around with her hands up dance. That's how I imagine the Christian dance would be.
Real nice. But I did want to mention that little bit of news before we get into the trailers. Did you have something else to say?
I was just gonna say
Penises are delicious.
Girl.
The fangirl extraordinaire
said it. Just by talking about it, you're just giving it more.
This is true, and there was
publicity than it really
they actually
deserves.
mentioned that in the article. They said, no publicity is bad publicity, because by even mentioning something, you're getting people more interested in that. So,
I think this should be the last time we say anything.
We're never going to say anything else about Saving Christmas. I mean, guys, if you have a strange, morbid curiosity about it. Just
watch the trailer. Don't watch the movie.
Watch the trailer, yeah. Go watch the trailer and decide for yourself.
If you have the interest to see it, just do meth instead.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, take a hammer, hit yourself a few times. You'll probably get
You'll see Jesus that way.
You sure will. Like a real hammer?
Yeah.
There's not a few times.
Maybe once. That's all you need.
Hit yourself in the soft spot.
So, moving on to our first trailer for the night, which is Terminator Genisys.
The time you're going back to, she'll be scared and weak. Take care of her for me, Kyle.
Come with me if you want to live. Now, soldier!
This is all wrong. John sent me here to save you.
From the Terminator that was sent back to kill me, I know, but we already took care of him.
We
have been waiting for you.
So,
I was confused.
I think a lot of people were. But first thing I have to say, Paul, is it okay if we talk about this trailer?
Okay, so can I say my piece before you guys just tear down the trailer?
Go ahead.
I actually really fucking liked this trailer.
Okay.
Okay, so I like the Terminator movies because they're fighting Skynet because it's evil. But I hate the Terminator movies because they introduced us to Skynet. Now I'm scared. So they told me about the coming evil. But I saw this trailer and shared it before you added it to the list.
Right.
And I don't know if you saw my post, but it said that I'm excited about this movie. A decent way to do a reboot, which they said they were going to do.
Right.
It doesn't seem from the trailer to have a lot of unique ideas to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolute truth, yeah.
They basically, they're using the first two movies with a splash of spice to reboot the movie from a sequel.
Right. It's a canon reboot.
Yeah.
Right.
I do like the idea that Sarah says that something has changed the timeline.
Right.
They have fucked with the timeline so much trying to change shit that has always still led to Judgment Day, that the idea that it would have completely changed the time stream is not out of the realm of possibility.
Right.
So I do like that. I like that we get to see another T-1000 because I like the T-1000.
Right, as do I.
And he's Asian, which is kind of cool. And he's updated.
Right.
So, we see him come out of the hood of a car.
Right.
We see him take off part of his arm and spear it.
I know. Holy shit, that's cool.
So, there are some cool things about it.
Right.
They knew not to go with the TX again.
Right.
Because that was fucking
terrible.
It was a cool concept. It's exactly where they should have gone with the updates of the Terminator.
Yeah, it was a good idea until they said, "Oh, we can make her grow her breasts."
Right. Up until that point. You didn't see that one?
No, it's Terminator
She was
3.
awful.
I've only seen 1 and 2.
The idea of it was that the first one was just a killing machine.
Yeah.
The second one could adapt and create his own weapons, but not like machinery. And the third one could do machinery and could control other machines, which is how the whole thing started. She hacked the system, uploaded Skynet.
So Skynet gave birth to Skynet.
Right.
It was circular. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not the first time that a great sci-fi story has been a paradox.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if you've ever seen the 4400. Basically, the story is that they take the future took all of these people throughout time, and nobody ever really realized that these people were taken a specific way. It was just these people had to be taken, all showed up in a ball of light in 2005, 6, something like that.
Yeah.
And had powers, and one of them was pregnant with this baby whose blood chemistry generated the chemical that gave the future the technology to give them all the powers that they had.
Okay.
So basically, if one thing messed up, the entire universe imploded.
Right.
Because they created the chemical through this baby to be able to take them and give them all of these powers to get. I'm actually really excited for this movie. I think that it has a lot of promise. I think that it looks significantly more promising than T3.
And a lot more promising than Terminator Salvation.
I liked Salvation. Salvation had issues, but it wasn't a bad movie.
I just found Salvation boring. It was just too tedious.
The thing I really liked about Salvation, though, is that they took the leader of the revolution, and again, they said with all of the things that had been changing, he wasn't the leader.
Right.
He wasn't but
yet
he was the one, not even yet, he was the one making all the risks.
Right.
So he was the one that the machines were worried about.
Right.
Because he was the one that was like, no, let's fucking do this instead. And the leaders were like, no, that's a bad idea. And the robots were like, yeah, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. And he was like, no, I'm going to fucking do this because it seems like it's a good idea. And they were like, shit.
What I hated about Terminator Salvation was that there were so many times they had a really good idea and then they botched it. As far as this goes, now here, I'm not going to try and ruin too much, because apparently this is how the alternate timeline occurs in this new, I guess you'd call it the new...
timeline.
The new timeline occurs in the new timeline. So what happens is when Sarah Connor was young, they sent back an even earlier Terminator. Mm-hmm. So there was the first Terminator, which was the one we know of from the first Terminator movie. Then they realized, oh, that one didn't work. Let's send one back before that, to when Sarah was like 9 years old.
I didn't understand why they kept sending more advanced Terminators back, but not sending them further back.
Yeah.
So that we had better technology to maybe be able to handle it. I'm like, wouldn't it make sense to send the T-X back to kill her grandfather or something?
Right.
Just end this bloodline somewhere.
They're starting to do that now.
Okay.
They send them back even further to attack Sarah when she's 9 years old. But they still fuck it up. Somehow. We don't know how.
And she somehow fucking rewires him?
Apparently. And the new rewired one is the old Schwarzenegger you see in this.
Yeah.
That's why there's two Schwarzeneggers.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so...
It's still kind of weird that he aged.
Right. Do Terminators age? I guess if it's,
if it's living
flesh,
cells.
I guess.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, the inner hardware...
Do you think he would have grayed? I think that shit would have just fallen out because it doesn't grow.
Well, if you don't know, if it's living, maybe it could.
It's not completely living.
Well,
I mean, you saw it when they cut that bitch open.
Right.
It was just slimy.
Right.
It wasn't actually blood.
Who knows? But anyway, so as far as the cast for this, we have Emilia Clarke, who we know as Daenerys. Did you recognize her?
No.
Yeah.
Who was she?
She's Sarah Connor.
That was Sarah?
Yeah.
I knew her
I
face
knew
looked
she looked
familiar,
crazy
but I didn't know who it
familiar, but I
was.
couldn't.
Yeah,
Really?
that's her. That's Daenerys.
Dude, how do you not have faith in this movie? Daenerys is in this movie.
Because I need to get to the next one, which is Kyle Reese, who's being played by Jai Courtney.
I have no idea what you just
And fuck Jai Courtney.
I don't want to. He's not really my type.
said. I don't know who that is.
Okay, he was in the most recent Divergent film. He was in
The
But
guy?
Divergent was apparently really good.
But apart from that, he's been in a lot of really crappy
The
films.
young guy?
Apart from
Yeah.
him being in a really good movie, he was in this other
Before
bad
he
movie.
honed his skill and made a good movie, he was in really crappy movies.
He was in...
Isn't that every actor ever?
I mean, if I was still giving Zac Efron beef for doing 3 fucking High School Musical movies, I wouldn't completely agree that he should do a Marvel movie.
Right, I get what you're saying, but look, he hasn't improved. Every film I've seen him in, he is just flat. Apparently, even in Divergent, he wasn't the best part of the movie. Apparently, he still just gave a fucking flat performance. Everything else was good, but he was just kind of monotone.
Who is he playing in this?
And this, he's Kyle Reese.
So he's
And
a
who
lead.
is-
He's a lead character. Kyle Reese is
He's
John's
the one they
father.
send back. So, in this, Kyle, the guy they send back, is being played by Jai Courtney. And he's been in stuff like A Good Day to Die Hard, which was one of the biggest pieces of shit from last year.
But, I mean, we can't blame that because, I mean, Justin Long and Bruce Willis are still the men.
Wait, what?
They were, wasn't that Justin Long and Bruce Willis?
No. That was the one before
Live
that.
Free and
that was
Die
Live Free or
Hard.
Die Hard. The one after that, the fucking awful climax of the
Was, like,
series
the
was
son?
A Good Day to Die Hard. Yeah, it was John McClane's son. Justin Long wasn't his son.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And that was Jai Courtney. And apparently, since then, every performance has just been monotone. I didn't realize this. He's now going to be playing Captain Boomerang in the Suicide Squad.
Haha.
Yeah.
Captain Boomerang on fucking Arrow is creepy as shit.
Well, he's not gonna be creepy as shit in Suicide Squad. He's gonna be fucking Jai Courtney.
Well, he might be
flat.
creepy if he
You don't
just, stares off into
But
nothing.
I mean, yeah, I love Amelia Clarke, but where I lose with this movie is Jai Courtney. But also in this, you don't see him in the trailer, is Matt Smith.
I did know that though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know
The
who Matt
11th
Smith
Doctor.
is? He's the 11th Doctor.
He's also in some gay movie we just saw on Netflix the other day. We're kind
Yeah,
of excited.
he's
I
in here
was
somewhere,
thinking
and it
gay.
led me to the joke of, well, if you're gonna do a lot of this time traveling, a Time Lord would help.
I told you. I think I knew Daenerys was in this. I told you this before. I didn't know she was Clark. Now that I think about it, because I saw the posters and I told you about it, and I told you that Matt Smith was in it and Daenerys was in it.
That's right. Yeah.
And there were two other people in the posters that I didn't know or care about, and I imagine one of them was
The T-1000.
probably, and then the other one was Jai Courtney probably.
But directing this,
Matt Smith has his head shaved, and he actually looks kind of like
right.
human.
Right. Directing this, we have Alan Taylor. Now, he has directed several episodes of Game of Thrones, and he was also the director of Thor 2. Now, I know...
Have faith, Michael. We're looking up.
The episodes of Game of Thrones he directed were... I mean, there are a few bad episodes of Game of Thrones, but all the ones that he was listed as were good episodes. As far as this goes, yes, they're kind of doing a canon reboot of this series. And they're restarting with Sarah Connor now knowing what is going to be happening in the future because she's already encountered a T-800, I think is what they're called.
Yeah.
Now she's actually saving Kyle Reese at one point. And I'm sorry, I really don't like that they're rehashing so many lines. That actually kind of pisses me off. Because they do that in a lot of the other Terminator films, and I'm starting to get sick of it.
But that's the point. The point of those lines is because they're classic lines. If they didn't do them, people would complain. It's clever.
I wouldn't.
You complain about everything.
Yeah, and I wouldn't complain if they left out those lines.
You're a liar. You'd be like, that was a classic line. I don't understand why they left it out.
No bullshit.
Why can't they just come up with something else? If
Right.
they're that clever, then
They were
write
good
something
lines.
else.
They were there, and they had a good reaction, and they keep using them because they're classic lines to that.
But you know what? I'll say this. The whole line with the older Schwarzenegger saying, I'll be back. Did you notice he literally got to the chopper?
Oh, yeah. That's kind of funny. I do like that he's like, I'll be back, and she's like, what? Yes.
Just falls out.
No, yeah, I like that they keep using those lines.
I'm not. I mean,
It's just like in Planet of the Apes when like somebody had to say the damn dirty apes line. In the Mark Wahlberg movie.
I wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of it in neither of those movies.
Well, you're dumb. Like, all right, for someone who does as much like cinema review as you do, like I'm surprised that bothers you.
It doesn't necessarily bother me.
It clearly does because you're saying that they shouldn't do it.
Well, maybe they should just be able to rework it into a different way, but still have the same line.
And I wouldn't be
Or
against
something, similar
that.
enough.
And I'm not saying that they couldn't do a movie without it, but I'm saying that from a standpoint of them doing it, that's like saying, well, I don't like when they do a Spider-Man movie and Uncle Ben says, with great power comes great responsibility.
No, it's the same character, though.
It's been the same character.
No, but I mean...
In this example, it's the same character. It's been the same character each time who has said that.
Not come with me if you want to live.
No, but the I'll be back part.
And I'm fine with that.
Okay.
What?
But the come with me if you want to live is it's I've been drinking. I can't think of the word. It's an iconic statement. It's a cult statement. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay. I mean, I just feel this movie, it's not captivating me. I'm not that compelled about this. And I'll say this, of the trailers I've seen since this series inception, since this franchise was started, Terminator Salvation had the best trailer I've ever seen. Now, it was a mediocre movie, but the trailer for it was fucking amazing. Loved that trailer. This trailer gives me nothing. I don't care. And that's
I like
a shame.
the trailer.
I mean, it's until the very end when we get those 5 chords, those repeating 5 beats. Until we hit that, I didn't feel anything for this. I was like, I kind of don't care. But then as soon as that song hits, I'm like, fuck yeah. But I didn't care. I mean, and that's kind of a shame that I don't really care about a Terminator movie.
See, and I'm in it for the story. I mean, they're doing the same thing they did with Star Trek. So they're making the canon reboot. Something happens that changes the timeline. Right. I'm interested to see.
And I'm not entirely against that.
Right, but that's what captivates me. Is I don't go in looking for the action necessarily or the spark of the trailer. I go in looking for. I look at a trailer as a synopsis. This is what I'm looking at to tell me the back of the book what it is that I'm going to read. And if that catches me, if that's the story, fine. I want to look into this. I think it could provide something really cool if they do it right. And with the actors that they chose and the director, the producer, whoever that guy was, I think that they have a good shot.
I feel like it was just confusing. And I don't want to have to look up something about a trailer to understand what the trailer is trying to tell me.
That's a very fair point.
I would have gotten the basic idea, but I would have still been confused about different parts as to why things were happening, what exactly was going on.
Yeah, and if I hadn't explained the whole thing about another Terminator going back before the other Terminator,
right, I would have no idea why there were two.
Right, why were there two Terminators? Why is there an alternate timeline? What had occurred here? That's not explained in the trailer at all. We know that a change has occurred, but we don't know why.
Right,
and they might explain that in a later trailer, but for this would have been very confusing.
But that also could be like a twist that they were saving for the movie that leaked.
But I don't know. I feel like if you're going to throw in like a reboot like that, you need to explain how that happened in the trailer. And in the Star Trek trailers, it was explained pretty early on that is what happened. That it was an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
With the exception
I know she said in this that things are different or something.
Yeah.
But it kind of just felt like it was like at the beginning. I almost felt like it was just another view of the first movie or something like that, like a different.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, that's kind of silly. But then I don't know. Just
that's what I. Good.
No, I'm done.
I was say, well, that's what I'd say. It's kind of like they do a canon reboot. My only concern, where I was saying with it looks like a lack of unique ideas, of new ideas, is that it looks like it's the first two movies put together.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is my concern.
Right.
I think that if they do it right, it could still end up being a good movie. But what I had said in my post, it looks like they're stretching for ideas.
Absolutely.
And I would like you see some different Terminators in it.
Right.
I would love to see like a cross section between like what's going on in like they did in Wolverine and the X-Men, where like what's happening in the present is affecting the future.
Yeah.
Like see that.
Right.
Like if they show like John's about to die at one point because something's about to crush him, and they fucking blow up the prototype model of that so that it could never exist, and right before it crushes him, it fucking just ceases to exist. Mm-hmm. Like that would be some cool stuff to show.
Right.
Like a Back to the Future where Marty's disappearing.
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Mom and Dad aren't hooking up.
Exactly. Or even show like that, and that would
There's
be
a picture of Terminators just waving, and they start disappearing.
Like it would be kind of cool to show, to even like if they did something like that, to show like a scene where John just dies, we saw some giant Terminators in Salvation, so something just steps on him,
right,
and then like I said, like they rewrite a code or destroy a prototype or something, and then that might not like completely change the future, but he just like stands up out of like the rubble and just shakes it off. So like, I mean, we don't understand really how time fluxes would really work,
right.
But I mean, it makes me concerned that they've run out of ideas.
Right.
I completely lost faith in the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Also, that's really difficult to say.
God, that was fucking bad.
Which was awful because that had a fucking star cast.
Right.
But all the acting was great. Just the fucking story just didn't make any goddamn sense.
I'll say this before we finish up on this trailer. The physics bending bus in the end, do you remember that?
Yeah.
The bus that flips end over end. It's almost like, we've seen that shot of something flipping end over end in a lot of movies. It's almost like they had to keep upping it. Okay, first it was a car flipping end over end. Then it was a truck. Then it was a Humvee. Okay, let's flip a bus end over end. Like,
fuck that. Magneto flipped 2 armored cars over himself and then
Okay,
disattached
that's Magneto.
and then disattached a fucking tractor trailer.
Okay, because he can control that fucking
Yeah, that
metal.
makes sense.
That makes sense.
No, I
Not
meant
in
that
a
I meant that
world
they
where-
didn't up. Like, he did it better.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. What I'm saying
And
is,
it wasn't even a good movie.
what I'm saying is,
My girlfriend's in the back of your truck.
the physics of this. Like, no, this doesn't fucking happen. Whoever thought of this bus flipping scene, wow. Just no. Never write an action scene again. Because that just took me right out of the trailer. I was like, wow, that's really stupid.
Just out of curiosity, do you think that robots really travel back in time to, like, assassinate potential
Yes.
world leaders? That's what you think?
Hey,
Okay.
it could happen.
I mean, I hope so.
That way your paranoia is justified. So moving on to our next trailer, which is one that Paul has been steaming to talk about, which is Pan.
If I'm gonna trust you, I need to know your name.
It's Hook. The name's James Hook.
The little one, he wears the pan.
The Pan is our tribe's bravest warrior.
Well. The princess, I presume.
Oh, well, I'm actually just a minor, but I appreciate the compliment.
Bishop.
Are you insane?
This looks like a garbage pail. Like, it's a pile of bullshit. The Peter Pan story is the one story in the entire mythos of stories ever that does not need a fucking origin story.
Agreed.
Just, oh my god, like, it looks like so, and then fucking Hook's a hero, and Blackbeard is the bad. Okay, first off, Blackbeard is always a bad guy. I don't give a shit what fucking twisted ass religion you're opt up on, but Blackbeard is always a bad guy. I don't need a fucking Disney movie to tell me that. Right. But Hook is not a good guy.
Right.
On fucking Once Upon a Time, he was a good guy. And I'm fine with that because Peter Pan was the best bad guy I've ever seen, ever. And that shit was awesome. And then they fucking blew the fuck out of their budget, and now that show sucks. But this movie looks like horse shit.
So,
Well, I don't know. I was thinking, have you seen the Tinkerbell Pirate Fairy movie? By
No.
any chance? No.
it's a Disney animated.
Why would I
I
see
have
that?
nieces. That's why I've seen it.
Right, but I don't.
Well, I don't know. You might
I have a nephew.
watch things.
No,
such as
honey,
this.
I'm not quite that gay. Thursday nights, I caught up to my Project Runway.
Okay,
And that's about as gay as I
I
get.
had to stop and just point out how Paul said honey. Honey.
Honey. Boothang. Let me do your makeup right quick, because you look a hot mess, and tell you how gay I am not.
God. Anyway, your point
Before I got a
About
motherfucking shiv you.
this Tinkerbell story, yes.
I saw Tonkerbell last night on SNL.
No, I'm talking about Pirate Fairy on Tinkerbell
Bitch, don't call me a name.
Pirate Fairy.
She's calling you a fairy, yes.
Call me a pirate fairy.
That's kind of good, kind of bad, right?
You butt pirate fairy.
Wow.
Arr, matey. Sprinkle me pixie dust all over your ass.
Wow.
We went there. Anyway, you had an opinion.
In the movie, it's kind of like before the whole Peter Pan and Captain Hook thing, because there's this ship that has a fairy as like the captain, and in her crew is Hook, and he kind of is dastardly and takes over.
Yay.
So I think it's like that's how I got the impression for this movie. Like Hook is still going to be there, and it's almost like Treasure Island, where all I can think of is the Muppet one, and Tim Curry's the guy.
Right.
He pretends to be like the friend, and then he really turns around and is the bad guy.
He plays Long John Silver.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I would like to see though? Have you ever seen like the explanation kind of stuff online for things like that? Like you see like the Rugrats and stuff like fan theories. That's what I was looking for. Fan theories. There's a fan theory that Peter Pan was an angel of death.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that
and
he
he-
takes the souls of children to Neverland, which
Right.
is heaven,
Right.
and which is why they never age.
Yes.
There's another fan theory that he takes children because he doesn't age, and as they age, he kills them. And that the pirates are children who have gotten away that were rescued by Hook, who was the first lost boy to get away and lost his hand in the process.
Okay.
And I was like, that is a movie that I would fucking see.
Yes, I would love to see that.
I would
that would
watch
be very-
the shit out of that. That would be amazing. But this doesn't catch me.
I'm not trying to justify the movie. I'm just trying to
Really? Because it sounds
explain
that way.
No.
about Hook, how I thought it was.
There was a live action show. It was a miniseries, like 3 episodes, 2 or 3 episodes, called Pan or Peter Pan or something, or Neverland. I don't fucking remember what it was called. And I watched the first episode of it on Netflix.
Was it
And he
on
was like,
Sci-Fi?
it might have been.
Because they've had ones where they like reimagine. One was like The Wizard of Oz, and they
Right, it
did
was
Alice
called
in
Tin Man.
Wonderland.
Tin Man.
Yeah.
Tin Man was awesome.
Yeah, I really like Alice.
I wanted to see Alice and I didn't watch it. Was Alice good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Because fucking Once Upon a Time in Wonderland was horseshit. They had 0 budget too. Like, I'm all about story over budget, but I would much prefer to read the book of Underworld than watch that fucking claymation werewolf transformation. But I watched the episode with Peter Pan, or the show Peter Pan, and it made fucking 0 sense. And that's when I realized Peter Pan is the one story in everything. It simply does not need an origin story. If there's one, like on Once Upon a Time, it turned out that Peter Pan was Rumpelstiltskin's father, which I was starting to get annoyed that everybody was wrapped up in everybody else. But Rumpelstiltskin's father gave him up because he blamed Rumpelstiltskin for having to have grown up. And Neverland was a place that he used to travel to in his dreams. So when they found Neverland, he remembered being able to fly and couldn't figure out why he couldn't. And then realized, I can't fly because I'm an adult. And he looked at Peter, or he looked at Rumpel, and he said, "You're the reason I had to grow up. I don't want you anymore." And as soon as he just let Rumpel go, he became a child. And was given like temporary immortality, which is a concept that I'm foreign to. Like Harry Potter, there was a fucking immortal, but then he had to wrap up his fucking business endeavors before his fucking immortality ended. In the first movie, do you remember the first story?
Yeah.
There, Dumbledore had his best friend, his best living friend.
Oh yeah.
Was hopped up.
By the way, we digress. Go ahead.
His best living friend, who wasn't his boyfriend that he had to kill, was hopped up on that stone that, when melted, gave you the elixir of life and made you immortal.
Well, I think you had to keep
drinking
it, but if you stopped drinking it, that's when you would die.
Yeah, what they should have said was it made you impenetrable. Like, you couldn't be killed. You would still die if you stopped. But you can be temporarily immortal. Immortal is kind of a permanent process.
Right.
Unless you're a god made mortal. Then that's different.
Right.
Which is what happens in Lord of the Rings with some of the elves. And that's kind of...
Well, but that's different. So there are specific things that can kill elves.
Right.
War and a broken heart. So that is actually a concept I'm very fond of. But this makes me want to kick babies.
I'm kind of with you.
Anyone else remember that other Peter Pan movie with that boy? His name was like Jeremy something.
Yes.
I don't know any names, but I remember. Are you talking about the one that came out when we were like in high school?
Yes.
Probably.
And it was two.
Yeah, because my cousin was like obsessed with this boy.
And they were really young, Peter Pan and Wendy.
Yeah. I wanted to see that so bad.
I saw that.
I saw like 10 minutes of it, and I wanted to murder everybody I've ever met. Like, it was one of the worst movies I've ever had the mispleasure of watching 15 minutes of.
So,
it wasn't quite as bad as that Jet Li, Jackie Chan movie where there was like the monkey god, and they were chasing the kid from Will and Grace had a fight. And, oh my god, I left that movie.
What?
I remember.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I remember looking at my
called.
Something about the Monkey King. I remember
it was about a staff, a magical staff or something.
Oh, okay.
I remember looking at my ex and saying, "Can I just tell you how this ends so we don't have to watch it? I want to leave." And he was like, "We just paid $20 for these tickets." It is $20 that we have just foregone.
$20 you need to get fucking refunded right now.
We're not getting that money back. We can save this time.
So anyway, I had to mention a couple things about this. So we're talking about obviously the prequel, the origins of Peter Pan and Hook and everything else on this island.
Is Tink in this movie?
No, we don't see Tink. She could be, but we don't see her. But
Was Tink in the Mythologies?
I think so. Yes, she is.
She's at Disney right now.
Right. But I'm going to say this. The original writer of this, who wrote the original play, the musical, his name was J.M. Barrie. He had said on numerous occasions, you can't do a prequel for Peter Pan.
No.
You can't. Not only because it makes no sense, as far as, telling the story of this baby who learned to fly, basically, which is what they kind of do with Hook.
Hook kind of gave it a backstory.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Tinkerbell kind of kidnapped him from a park.
Right.
It's kind of how that happened.
But he had been abandoned in the park.
He wasn't even abandoned. She walked away to smoke a cigarette or talk to her other British friend, and she stole him from a park.
Well, maybe she should have kept a better watch.
Right.
On her baby.
But I will say this.
I'm never leaving my baby with you.
Hook's name is not Hook. This
Yeah,
has been cited by numerous sources. His name is not Hook. His name was Hook when his hand was cut off and given a hook, and the pirates named him Captain Hook.
Right.
His given name was not Hook. We, in fact, do not know what his given name is.
In Once Upon a Time, they call him Hook, but the main character does call him by his real name.
So they give him a real name.
Yeah.
It's James something.
James something. But we don't know what his last name is. It's never really revealed in any of the movies. In Once Upon a Time, they might reveal it.
It might be in Jake and the Neverland Pirates. I feel like they called him something, but I can't remember.
Does he have his hand in that?
No. But his mom is there.
I don't know why, but when you just asked that question, for some reason, I thought of a cookie jar. Does he have his hand in that? Does he have his hand in the cookie jar?
Bad Hook.
Cut his hand off and give him a hook. No more cookies for you.
I feel like whoever is writing this just doesn't fucking care. Because they don't care about any of the original backstory mythos. You could have named this guy whatever you wanted to call him, and then he becomes Hook. I don't care what name you gave him. Just make his first name James.
Yeah.
And then he turns into Hook. That's fine.
And this is one of the things where you get lazy writing.
Right.
So you and I had discussed when we talked on the superhero review about Doctor Doom and how I hate that there were so many super characters. Stephen Strange, Victor Von Doom, whose then superhero names were Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom. It's like, oh, that was a fucking convenient name for you to then go into sorcery. Yeah. It's just lazy writing. I mean, back in the 60s, it was different. Right. All right, I'll give you that. And there was some really intricate and unique stories going on, so you get a pass for that. But to do this, there's nothing else to say other than you were trying to force something.
Right.
And
it's so we have to have this guy. We're not going to know who he is, but in order to draw people in and say, oh, this is an origin story of both these characters, we have to name him Hook. Bullshit. Why would you call him Hook if he doesn't have a hook?
It actually would have been more interesting if Peter was with some random guy, and in the end of the movie, Peter was the reason he lost his hand, and then he put a hook on, and you were like, holy shit, that guy was Hook!
Yeah.
Right. That would have been great. That could have been a great reveal, but they just fucking ruin it with this.
Yeah.
Poor writing, man.
Silly.
Anyway, so go
this
ahead.
is why
Yes.
I'm on the podcast.
One thing I kind of think looks okay.
She just wants to fuck Hook.
Oh, God.
The pirates. I think
they look Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Good God. Too tired. Hugh Jackman looks like he did a good job, and I like the idea of them kidnapping these children. Not that that's a good idea.
No, but the pirates.
You were the one in the van, weren't you? You weren't the jogger.
I'm gonna say
I
this.
need to update my New York.
Was it just me, or did the pirates look like clowns and jesters?
You look like a
Did
clown
you notice
jester.
that?
Yeah.
What's up with that? Why are the pirates dressed like they're carny folk?
Because maybe that's
You
what
sound
they
like-
do.
You sound like the doctor from Courage the Cowardly Dog. What is up with that?
What is up with that?
Why did they look like jesters? What is up with that?
I will do everything medically possible. We apologize to anyone we are offending right now.
No, that wasn't offensive. That was Courage the Cowardly Dog. If you were offended by that, you can fucking suck a nut.
Wow.
Courage the Cowardly Dog was amazing.
Oh, I loved that show. Don't get me wrong.
That was a great
All right,
fucking
so,
show.
as far as this, the kid playing Pan, his name is Levi Miller. Now, he's done nothing. I think he was in 1 or 2 short films, but this is basically his debut movie.
Great, something to look forward to.
Right. Also playing Backbeard. Wow. Terrible person.
I have one of those.
Yikes.
Backbeard.
If you've ever seen our
Most
fucking
fearful pirate of all time.
beach videos, you've seen my Backbeard.
God.
God,
Blackbeard.
that does
Sorry.
sound like the most awful thing in the world, doesn't it?
So, Blackbeard is being played by Hugh Jackman, and you're right. I think he's putting a lot of effort into this part.
Yeah.
Like, he's, like, really giving, like, a really physical and intimidating performance, and I like that.
He's fucking Hugh Jackman, dude. He's the man.
He is.
Like, he hasn't been... I don't blame the Wolverine failures on him. He's a great actor.
All right. Also, the role of Hook is being played by Garrett Hedlund. Now, I don't know if you recognize him or not, but he was the kid from Tron Legacy, as well as...
Who?
The kid playing James Hook.
No. Who was in Tron Legacy?
Flynn's son.
Sam?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. This is him.
He's Hook?
Yeah.
Dude, he's who I wanted to play fucking Nightwing. He's a great actor.
Well, he's the one playing Hook.
All right, I mean, so they have a decent cast. That doesn't mean the movie's going to be good.
Apart from that, we also have, and of course we're going to have to touch on this, Rooney Mara playing Tiger Lily, which...
Who is fucking Hook? Like, what the shit? Did you not see the Disney movie where she is fucking kidnapped by Hook and she's like, I will never love you?
Right. But no, in this, it's kind of reference that maybe they have like something going on. That Hook and Tiger Lily have something going on.
He is popping that pussy like, whoa.
Oh my God.
He's all over that Native American pussy.
Oh my.
But
Okay.
it's not American, that Native Neverland pussy.
I'm just going to say this. I don't think you can claim that this is Native American. If you want to claim these are natives, fine. But these are not Native Americans, which is one of the big sticking points a lot of people have with this. It's the whitewashing of the natives. And every rendition thus far, the natives have always been darker skinned. Looked like they were Native Americans.
Well, maybe they were just being extremely racist.
This is possible.
Or maybe they weren't being racist enough.
Yeah.
Get in the kitchen and do the dishes.
That's not racist. Nice try.
Now, let me say this. The NBC version that was just
Go
on...
make a mayonnaise sandwich.
Oh, ew. Do you know the NBC
white
version?
bread?
Yes.
Do you know
Go
the-
make some cheese and crackers. Sorry, Mike.
Do you know the NBC version that was just on about a week ago?
Of?
Yes.
Peter Pan.
Yes.
Okay.
Was that the live action one?
Yeah.
That was a week ago?
Yeah.
God, how time flies when horrible things happen.
So, that was Mary Martin's Peter Pan. That's what it's called. Mary Martin was the original woman who played Peter Pan.
Right, yeah, she was in that old school one. She was Peter, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And she did a fine job. She was actually a very, very good singer. She did a fine job as Peter. And when she
Even
had
though
short
she didn't
hair...
have one?
What?
Even though she didn't have one?
Even though she didn't have one, what?
A Peter.
A Peter.
Oh. You lost me.
Come on, Mondo.
Right. Oh, God. We're not explaining that on air.
Not in this one.
No.
It's explained on one of the fucking YouTube videos, though.
Something, I'm sure. But in the original 1960 version, Tiger Lily was played by a white woman. Now, that was 1960.
I mean, so was Peter.
Well, yeah, but Peter was supposed to be white.
But he wasn't supposed to be a woman.
Okay.
It was like a reverse Shakespeare cast. Everyone was played by white women.
Pretty much. But
Captain Hook was this like really scraggly fucking woman with a beard.
right. It's the
Got her
same
out of a
comparison that
fucking
people have been
circus.
making recently with Exodus, Gods, and Kings. The whole thing of, oh, well, if you could have a white Moses in the first one, why can't you have a white Moses now? And I said, because that was fucking 1960.
But I think it's very clear that Moses is living in Egypt.
Right.
Wait,
This
so
is a make-believe land called Neverland.
Right.
How you don't know what the native peoples on this land would look like.
And this is true. This is very true. But if you're going to have them dressed as Indians, if you're going to
they're not necessarily dressed as Native Americans.
and every other rendition they have.
I wear feathers too,
Exactly. They could be dressed as drag queens.
right? Wait, what?
Not that you dress like a drag queen.
To To give you a little,
I'm going to take my stiletto pumps and walk.
To give you a little context, they were originally written as Native Americans.
Okay, but
it's not
obviously this
America.
movie doesn't care about what was originally written.
Also, isn't this a British story anyway?
It is.
Why are there Native Americans? State of America, Brits. God.
Because it was taking place in the 1880s, 1890s, when Native Americans did exist.
Okay, but what I'm saying,
But it was
this
a
movie
British
isn't
story.
caring about anything that was originally written, obviously.
Right.
So why does it matter?
So you're saying, so because they're saying, fuck the origins, fuck this story, do whatever you want.
I'm saying that that's what they're doing. They're doing whatever they want.
I get that. But do you think that's not going to upset a lot of people when they're saying, okay, we're going to tell an origin story about Peter Pan,
I think
but we don't fucking
someone
care about
walking
the story?
outside the door farting is going to upset a lot of people.
I like the word contention. It's a good word.
So you can't.
Would
any
you
little
prefer that I
thing-
fart indoors?
No, not
Please fart
really.
outdoors.
I'm just saying, if someone was walking by, they would be upset.
I mean, if somebody was walking by, they would be dead. Steve can vouch. It's not a pleasant happening.
But you make a fair point. If they are really saying, we don't give a shit about the origins of this story, yeah, they can do whatever they want. But if they're really
Exactly.
saying that, that's pretty upsetting.
Why?
Because it's saying, okay, we're gonna tell a story about Peter Pan and not give a shit about the story. And this tells me you really don't care about this movie at all. You're
Well,
just
I
cashing
mean,
in.
they've made that apparent by the whole Hook thing.
This is
far as
true.
I'm concerned.
Exactly.
I think
Argument is mute.
As much as I want to
Moot,
continue
not
to complain
mute,
about
moot.
this, we should move on. To
we
the next
should
one,
move on. The last
'cause
thing
I'm bouncing at a half
the
an
last
hour.
thing I'm going to say is that Amanda Seyfried is going to be playing Mary Darling.
I'm all right with that.
Not Wendy Darling, but Mary Darling.
Who
Yeah.
the fuck is Mary?
We have no idea.
Oh, is that her mom?
No, her mom's name is something else, so we don't know who Mary
How do
Darling
you
is.
know?
That's a hell of a name.
They could
Something
they're right,
else,
they could have
Darling.
They could have changed her name. Yeah, that could be Mary Darling is Wendy Darling's mother now. So we don't know.
They could change Wendy's name, but not Hook's name?
Apparently.
No, I think he's saying that they could change her mom's name, but not her name.
I don't think she's old enough
Instead
to
of
have
something
children.
else, darling, she's now Mary Darling.
Right.
Something else, darling. We're late for the play. I'm coming.
So we're gonna get off of Peter Pan and just last thought, fuck that movie because
Yeah.
at this point, no matter what you say, it looks like nothing good is gonna come out of this movie.
Nothing good is
So
going to come out of this movie.
moving on to that, to our next film, which
The
is
only thing that will benefit from that movie is bulimia.
oh wow,
That was a good one, though, right? It's going to make everybody hurl.
Okay. It's not
moving on.
really.
I thought that was clever.
Moving on to our next trailer. Speaking of bulimia, which is Cake.
Renina's husband. I'm not a stalker. I mean, not in the traditional sense.
You know, you just could have said you wanted to come over.
Yeah, but what's the fun in that? Oh, hey.
What are you doing? He doesn't even like you.
I know about your accident. I can't save you. I could barely save myself and my kid.
I'm not asking you to.
Is Bennett, is a man outside?
Get off my property.
If I could switch places, I would. I wanted to tell you that.
Which one was this?
This was
Jennifer
Jennifer
Aniston.
Aniston, William H. Macy.
She has some sort of
Oh my god.
ailment.
This was fucking... I'm actually very much looking forward to this.
I think so as well. Yeah.
It looked like a very, very powerful movie. I don't know how many of you know. Well, I mean, out in internet land, nobody knows. But last year, I lost my stepbrother to suicide.
Right.
And so I wasn't very close to my stepbrother. And I kind of take that as my fault. I had opportunities to spend more time with him, and I didn't take it, unfortunately. But seeing this trailer really hit really how that probably affected people who were closer to him, and just oh my god, Jennifer Aniston's performance. Like, not a single point in this trailer does she look this isn't an insult. Does she look like made up and beautiful? Like
this isn't her from Horrible Bosses,
right?
This
like
isn't her. Yeah, this is
made to look like she is going through some shit.
Right?
And I actually watched the trailer twice. I wanted to see it again. I was blown away by this trailer. I'm very much looking forward to this film.
I would agree with that. And again, this has a pretty solid cast lined up. So of course we have Jennifer Aniston playing this role of. We don't know what exactly has happened to her. She's gone through something where she's in a lot of pain. Well, not emotional pain, but physical pain.
Oh, is that too?
Yeah. She's having a hard time getting around. She's laying down a lot. She's in the pool because she's going through physical therapy.
Yeah, it's like aquatic therapy.
Right. So she's done something that hurt her, but we don't know exactly what.
A big ass dick. I'm sorry. This looks like a really powerful movie.
Wow.
I shouldn't tear it down.
The biggest, blackest dick.
The biggest blackest dick. That's what this movie is. It's the aftermath of Cards Against Humanity.
This is what Cards Against Humanity does to Jennifer Aniston.
If what was on the cards actually came true.
Oh my God. Then she walks into her house and she hears the ball-slapping sex her parents are having.
That might have been what it was, really.
Yeah. Jesus. But also in this, we have William H. Macy, who I've loved him in almost everything he's been in. And he's playing someone who is... We don't know if he's an ex or somehow he's impacted Jennifer Aniston. We don't really know how.
It kind of looks like he might be her ex-husband.
That's what I thought. But... He was saying something along the lines of, if I could change places, I could. I was thinking maybe there had been some sort of accident, or he had hurt her, or someone she loved.
No, I think it was. I think he might have been the ex-husband because it's the same voice when he calls.
Is that who it is?
I think it's his voice.
I couldn't tell.
I think I'd have to listen a little better, but.
Also, we have...
She'd have to actually pay attention to something other than her own reflection. Girls.
Wow.
Whatever, drag queen.
Wow. We also have Anna Kendrick. We also have Anna Kendrick, who's been getting a lot of work recently.
Yeah, but what I really liked about this with Anna Kendrick was that she's labeled as one of the top credits.
Right.
But she's not... The movie is about her, but it doesn't look like she's going to be in it much.
Right.
Her role is going to be like she's the friend who killed herself.
Right.
Or the person who killed herself.
Right.
But her role is going to be basically Gerard Butler in that movie with Hilary Swank.
Oh, P.S. I Love You.
Yeah.
Which I did not like that movie.
I loved that movie. It was a very powerful movie. And I feel like her role in this is going to be very similar.
The only thing I got from P.S. I Love You was taking shots at a funeral. I'm okay with that.
Took shots at Danny's wedding. I'm surprised there wasn't a funeral after that with all the drinking. Jesus.
But yeah, I'm liking her more and more with each film she's in. I originally hated her, but it was because she was that character in Twilight, and I just hated that performance. I feel like she's like this in life, but then I realized no.
She was in Twilight?
Yeah, she played
okay.
What's her name? Bella's first friend she meets in school. Yeah,
oh, she was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes, she was the sister.
Yeah,
and she was good in that.
And Audrey Plaza was the sister's best friend.
Right.
I love Audrey Plaza.
I know you do. But also,
such an evil little twat.
In a role for haven't seen him in a couple of years now. Sam Worthington.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, his first non-action role I've seen for him for a long time. And he's playing, I think it's Anna Kendrick's widower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like he's been going through some shit too, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, he's got it because he clearly fucks fucking
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston's
character. We don't know that. It looks like they're staying together, but it looks like she's in enough pain that maybe they aren't doing that.
In his bed.
Okay, but we don't know if they're fucking or not.
Okay, just because the only girl who's ever gotten into your bed happened to have sex with you.
Wait, I think your argument is arguing his point.
Right. You're arguing my point, dude.
They fucked. I don't remember how I was trying to get to my point now.
Anyway,
they had sex.
We have a very good cast.
Because she even says, Andrew Kendrick even says, he doesn't even like you. Why are you here?
True. And I gotta wonder, is she like just a vision or is she an actual ghost? We don't
No,
really
she's
know.
a vision.
Just a vision, you
Yeah.
think?
You mean
It's a
this isn't a
memory.
paranormal movie?
No, we don't know. I do have to say, I was laughing at the fact that at the end when they're going through all the names, Jennifer Aniston, William H. Macy, Anna Kendrick, all of them, Academy nominee, Academy winner, Sam Worthington.
Yeah. All of these people are great actors. Oh, and Sam's in it too.
I felt kind of bad. I was like, that's fucked up.
It's not fucked up. Maybe he should just goddamn do something good.
Right. Which this could finally be it. We don't know.
Maybe.
But directing this, we have Daniel Barnes. Now,
is that Bucky's friend?
No,
Brother?
Sorry.
No?
I gotta say, I'm not a fan of this guy. Anything he has done, I basically haven't liked or it's been panned. To give an example, he did Beastly and Won't Back Down. Now,
Won't Back Down was that movie.
Maggie Gyllenhaal and what's the woman's name? Viola.
What? I thought Won't Back Down was that movie with the guy who transfers schools and then starts like fighting again. Like he was like a street fighter or something?
No, that's Don't Back Down.
Oh.
My
bad.
I know. Strange. So close.
One fucking letter.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you know what? That's Never Back Down. I'm sorry. That's Never Back Down. I apologize.
Isn't that a J-Lo song?
Possibly. But Won't Back Down was Maggie Gyllenhaal and another woman, I'm sorry, I forget the actress' name, going to a school where apparently the administration has failed, and they basically, these two parents basically take over the school. It's a whole movement for charter schools. It's the idea of parents should control everything the school does. Mm-hmm. I did not like the movie. It was supposed to be a very supportive film, but I actually hated it because of its message, trying to say, oh, well, parents need to be in on everything that happens in a school because you can't trust teachers and you can't trust the administration at all. That's basically what it was saying.
When I was studying to be an educator, the teacher I had studied Montessori for like all her life and like taught Montessori, and I tore her the fuck apart. She was like, yeah, and the kids do this and this and this. I think you would have been great with the Montessori method, Paul. I was like, what? No. And she was like, you don't think so? You're such a free spirit. I was like, yeah, I'm a free lazy spirit. Like if you said you can learn at your own pace, I still wouldn't know how to read. I'd be playing with blocks, and I'd be picking my nose and my butt in the wrong order. Like, the Montessori method where, oh no, we'll just let little Billy learn at his own pace. Fuck that noise. I give you a goddamn assignment. Read the fucking book.
Anyway, we digress. Getting back to what this guy made. He made Won't Back Down, but he also made Beastly. Now, do either of you remember Beastly?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, God.
We don't need to discuss it.
Yeah. I think it took a chunk of my soul. That's all I'm going to say.
You watched it?
I had to. I was at the movie theater at the time. I had to watch that shit.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Surprised that's not in the bottom 100. But anyway.
How far down that list was The Last Airbender?
It could have been on there. I don't know. I'd have to.
Oh, no. It was definitely on there. I want to know
I'll
where
go back
it
and
was.
take a look.
It was definitely on there. That was one of the worst movies in the entire world.
As far as this goes, yeah, it's already been released. It's already hitting the independent circuit. It's only going to get a major release now, which I think it gets a major release in the beginning of January, which is fine. It's already gotten its release for 2014. So it's going to come up in Oscar season.
I was going to say, you're going to call this one Oscar bait?
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah,
this
it is.
And, this is definitely, and so is the Ben Stiller movie later on.
Yeah, we're going to get to that right in just a second. But go ahead.
Never mind.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I think the other one's a little bit too comedic.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's hard to tell
from the
trailers.
I think one of the big things in Oscars nowadays is to find that like indie feel with the big message.
Yeah.
And they're both going to have that.
Okay.
Right. Before we get into the next trailer, I just have to say, we were watching a Watch Mojo list the other day where it was the top 10 futuristic worlds you want to live in. Not just the top 10 futuristic worlds. The top 10 you want to live in. And number 6 was the future of Her.
I still haven't seen that shitty ass
Kim, wanted to strangle me. She's like, no! She just, screamed, looked at me like, I'm going to kill everything.
The universe where you can marry your vibrator.
Yeah.
Finally.
Oh, God. It just made me laugh that was on the list.
Just
That's
get your
all.
vibrator a cock ring with a diamond.
Wow. Anyway, moving on to our next trailer, which is While We're Young.
you suddenly want to hang out with a couple of 25-year-olds?
We were just 25. I mean, we weren't, but, you know, it'll be fun. We met this interesting couple.
What's the rumpus, rednecks?
I like how engaged they are and everything.
It's like their apartment is full of everything we once threw out, but it looks so good the way they have it. Being around them energizes you.
It's infectious.
Ah! What the? Are you kidding me? Watch it. I love you. All right.
Yeah, we bring up the whole Oscar season thing, and I'm kind of with Kim on this. I can see how this could be something that the Academy likes, but I don't think it's going to get many nominations, because I think it's going too far down the road of we're going for laughs, not for performances.
Yeah, but there are comedies in the Oscar stuff.
Oh, no, there are. It can happen. I just think
they don't only like things where people suffer.
Oh, I know. They prefer it, but it's not only. It's like the darker you go, the more chance you have. It's like, oh, okay, 12 Years a Slave, you got it.
13 Years a Slave, you win.
You win.
More darkness for longer.
Oh, God.
Or same darkness for longer, probably. I don't know. Some people like being a slave. It's kind of a gay thing. I don't know.
Wow. I think that's a different
thing.
I don't know. A buddy of mine got his collarbone broken.
Moving on. So, while we're young, we have in this Ben Stiller and Naomi Watts playing a couple who are in their nowhere near their twilight years, but they're in that middle section now that people are finding. You know, because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, 30 is the new 20."
The midlife.
It's not.
It's not even mid. It's like the third.
Yeah, it's like a third life crisis.
I don't know. Is it? How old's Ben Stiller?
Well, it's not about Ben Stiller. It's about his character.
I would say he's probably
okay.
Mid-late 30s, I'd say.
Well, I say
think he's older than that.
Do you think so?
Ben Stiller, the actor?
No, in the movie.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the actor.
Oh, he's probably in his late 40s now.
Yeah, late 40s, probably virgin on his 50s.
Right. But I think in the movie he's playing like someone in his late 30s, maybe early 40s. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
because I mean it's there's a scene where in the trailer where it's like his friends are talking about like kids. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I do like the part at the end of the trailer." He's like, "I think we should have kids," and she's like, "I'm not gonna have kids with you if you only bring it up after you have opiates."
Yeah.
Not only.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah. I think that this is another one of those movies. I think it's kind of a pointless like coming of age tale where it's like old people who don't want to grow up.
Right.
It's funny. And then there's the flip that's like young people that have to grow up. I know. Van Wilder. But
it's very I would say a word is predictable. It's a very predictable movie from what I can tell thus far, which isn't necessarily a bad thing so long as the comedy is okay.
Yeah. I think Naomi Watts looked really funny in it.
She did. I was
laughing. She did a good job.
Yeah. I tell you what, I was surprisingly laughing my ass off of that hip hop scene.
When she was dancing.
I said, Naomi Watts, stop. I have a feeling that wasn't even acting. That was her just really trying to like
keep up with this
they
class.
put her on set like, okay, everyone's gonna be dancing. You just try and do what you can. And they already taught Amanda Seyfried what to do. And then Naomi Watts is just like, fuck. Poor Naomi Watts. Just embarrassed her on set. But of course we also have Amanda Seyfried and Adam Driver, who God, that guy has a very strange facial structure. I'm sorry, but Adam Driver's actually been confirmed for the next Star Wars film, and I have to look at this guy and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I could see him in Star Wars because he looks like an alien. he has just a very strange looking face. I don't have maybe. He laid on one side too long when he was born. I don't know, but
they have helmets for that.
What's that?
They have helmets for that.
Yeah, there you go.
They have helmets for when Mike decides to ride the bus.
Wow. But the director of this is actually a very, very good writer, and I think a decent director as well, which is Noah Baumbach. Now, he was the co-writer of a lot of the Wes Anderson movies. He co-wrote The Life Aquatic, and he also co-wrote Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is one of my favorite animated movies of all time.
I do like the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
But he also directed a movie called The Squid and the Whale. Now, have either of you seen that?
No.
Okay. The Squid and the Whale came out in like 2005. It was Jeff Daniels and Jesse Eisenberg, couple others. But holy crap, for being a little like independent indie film, that's contradiction right there. to being a little independent film. Yeah. It was fantastic. I was like, it deserved a hell of a lot more praise than it got. It got some good praise, but I was like, that was a fantastic movie. I think it really jump-started Jesse Eisenberg's career. Just no one likes to admit it because no one has ever seen it. But I really like this guy. And I like that he's been attached to Wes Anderson. And do you get a little bit of Wes Anderson in this?
I don't know.
I see it, you know, like in the opening credits and the way that they're moving and scrolling.
Like when they're talking about it.
Right. I see.
I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. I haven't seen a lot of those movies. Just one or two.
Okay. But I get a little Wes Anderson.
I'm not good at picking out styles in movies.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I think we lost Paul.
No, you're good.
Well, let's finish this up real quick. Our next trailer up is Little Boy.
The moment of truth. I am searching for the chosen one. You. The movement of an object to inner power. Do you believe you can do this?
Yes, I believe I can move it.
You wanted the bottle to move so much. It moved. Your faith is powerful.
But if I get enough faith, nothing's impossible, right? Even bringing my dad home?
Your faith won't work if you have even the slightest bit of doubt.
I understand where the trailers go. Like, I understand what the movie's going for, and I don't care. Like, the trailer
I don't care.
The trailer doesn't really grasp you with either enough fantasy or enough realism for me to really, like, be pulled into it. It ended, and I was just like, I feel like I was in the middle of, like, two different ideas, and I just didn't. It didn't capture me. I just didn't care by the end of the trailer.
I'm with that too. And I will say this. When I saw this trailer for the first time, the first thing I thought is, wow, okay. They took the concept of Matilda and threw in Kevin James and some Jesus.
But it's not Matilda. It's Chance, it looks like.
What's Chance?
No. Like, it looked like it was just like, it was like, oh, I can do things, but he's not actually doing them. They're just happening.
It just happens to be. Are you sure it's not just pure luck?
See, and that's what I couldn't tell. Like,
I thought he was actually doing them.
And that's where I couldn't tell. Where, like, in Matilda, she was a TK.
Right.
Okay, and she was developing TK throughout the story. Okay,
right.
That's great. And in this, I was like, I'm not sure if he actually just destroyed that or if just something happened to blow up while he was doing that, and if everything in the story is just going to be chance, and then at the end of the movie it's just going to be like the climactic sequence in fucking Kung Fu Panda where it's like, oh no, there's actually nothing special about you, it was all about believing in yourself. And you're like, oh, I saw that in an animated movie that Jack Black voiced. So
that was far better.
I didn't need to see this. The only thing about this movie that got me excited was Kevin James. That was it.
Well,
and he had a pedo mustache.
You don't like Kevin James because he's good. You just like him because he's Kevin James.
Yeah. But he's not bad. He's done great things.
No.
And his stand-up is fucking hilarious.
His stand-up.
And King of Queens was fucking baller.
You need to differentiate between his stand-up and his movies.
I said things.
Okay.
I said things.
I like his stand-up. I like his stand-up. And there were some good episodes of King of Queens.
There were
You can make a contention that he's never made a good movie. That's what I'm arguing.
Did he make any movie?
Okay, he's never been in a good movie. Or he's been good in a movie.
I don't know that he's been bad in movies. I will agree that he has never been in a great movie.
You have obviously never seen Zookeeper. He was fucking bad.
I'm not saying that he wasn't bad in some movies. Like, Chuck and Larry, not a great movie. He was good in the movie. Like, I appreciate his acting. He was better than fucking Adam Sandler.
I would say Chuck and Larry was probably the highlight of his career.
And like I said,
outside of maybe Hitch, but even Hitch, I wasn't a fan of him.
See, I like his acting, and I think he's funny.
I mean,
like Paul Blart, like, he doesn't take good roles.
Yeah, he needs a new fucking agent. Is what he needs.
Yeah,
but
and he needs to stop hanging out with Adam Sandler.
Agreed.
Except that he does get to go on a lot of vacations.
Right.
So maybe he shouldn't stop hanging out with Adam Sandler. He's obviously doing something right because he makes a lot of fucking money and he goes on a lot of vacations.
But also in this we have Emily Watson, who of course you may know from movies like Red Dragon or she was in Equilibrium. She was the girl in Equilibrium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We also have Tom Wilkinson.
The girl who was dying? The girl they killed?
Yeah. Spoilers. Sorry. it's a 15-year-old
15
film.
years old
Yeah,
movie.
15-year-old movie. Spoilers by now. Tom Wilkinson is also in this, who was the priest in this. You recognize him from a lot of stuff. He was in Valkyrie. He was in oh gosh,
I didn't see Valkyrie.
He's been in a lot of things. I'm sorry I'm spacing on so much that he's been in. He's a very good actor. I really like him. But also in this, at some point, I don't know if we've seen him or not, but we had Ted Levine. And do you know who Ted Levine is?
Adam Levine's brother?
Yeah, no. He's
Not as good looking brother.
He's Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
What?
Yeah, he's in this.
The guy who played Stottlemyre and Monk?
Yeah.
I just fucking saw Silence of the Lambs was just on TV like 2 days ago, and we watched it twice.
Is this the first time you'd seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
No.
But no,
I
yeah.
love the Hannibal movies. The good ones.
Yeah. He's in this at some point. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm glad to see him getting more work.
I'm not.
You don't like him?
I mean, he fucking kidnapped people. Where's their skin?
Oh my god, what a twist for this.
Yeah, really. And the little kid's gonna save the day. By blowing up a mountain.
Yeah, but I just gotta say, I don't know if I'm all in for this movie. And I was okay with the trailer early on. I was just like, okay, this seems like a nice, heartfelt little film about a kid believing in himself. But then when it got to the point of, oh, if you believe hard enough and if you have the help of the Lord, now you can do these things.
So it's Donnie Darko.
Almost, yeah.
All right, I'm down with that now.
What?
All we need is Noah
You look
Wiley.
confused, Kim. What? Did you not get that?
I didn't get the whole thing about God.
Well, I didn't get that until he went to the priest, and then after that he started moving things. Like, legitimately. Like, he caused an earthquake with his mind after he went to the priest.
I do that all the time. It's not God who helps me with that. It's the man downstairs.
Nice.
But just because he goes to visit a priest doesn't mean that they're trying to say that it's God.
I don't
making him do it.
That's what I inferred.
They made
from
me
it.
visit the priest because it wasn't God. Save your soul.
That's what I inferred from it. That's all. I mean, if you didn't get that, that's fine. That's what I'm inferring from it. I was inferring, oh well, there's now need to throw in, as the joke was from Charlie Brown, strong Christian overtones. I need to throw that in. And that's what's helping him move stuff. If in fact that's the case and it's not just pure luck, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
But
I just wasn't interested enough to care.
But getting into our final trailer for the night, which is Home.
Can I come into the out now?
No.
But I can. You are just having to take away the piece of wood.
This March.
My friends call me Tip.
I am O.
Oh?
I has been given this name by my many, many friends. Good morning. Hi, guys. Hello.
From DreamWorks Animation.
What did you do to my car?
It should hover much better now.
So, this is the next DreamWorks picture coming out.
This is Jim Parsons.
Jim Parsons,
playing
yes.
the same role
alien.
as he's doing in Big Bang Theory.
Right, except he's an alien.
Yeah.
Right?
Which would make sense if he was on the show.
Is he voicing the O?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Oh.
This movie looks stupid as shit.
Really? You think it looks stupid?
This movie reminds me of what was that movie where the astronaut lands on like the alien planet?
Planet 51.
Yeah, this is what that movie reminds me of.
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
I kind of didn't mind the part where he started dancing and started changing colors. And then all of
the
his
animation looked good. I'll give it that.
All right. I mean, at this point, if the animation isn't good, then there's a problem. But I don't know. This didn't fucking hit any chords with me either. I was like, all right, it was a cute trailer, but I could not have cared less.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, this entire concept is based off a book called The True Meaning of Smek Day. Now, yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah, Smek Day.
That is one letter off from something really gross. And there should not be a day for it.
Well, in this book, it's about this alien race coming and taking over the planet. And I believe this is a young adult novel of some sort. And the day they invade, they call Smek Day. It just happens to be Christmas. So Christmas no longer exists. Christmas is now Smek Day. And a lot of people obviously are upset by that. But the aliens Just kind of like, well, fuck you, we really don't care about any of your holidays anymore. We now have Smek Day. It's the day we took you over.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if we took somebody over, we wouldn't give a shit. Like, no, this is Christmas.
Then it'll be like the underground people celebrating Christmas behind.
Right.
But then those will be the renegades that are hunted down and killed.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there is basically this story in there about this girl who befriends one of them. And
Was she looting or stealing from the store?
I don't know. Maybe
not looting. That's not the word I wanted to use. But like
loot.
Shoplifting.
Thief.
Yeah, it looked like that. We don't know. But in the novel, it's kind of funny because I'm going to get into something that's involved with the cast here. In the novel, the character's name is an O. His name is J-Lo.
Okay, so they need to change that.
Right. Well, they need to change it because J-Lo is actually doing a voice in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It would have been even better if she was voicing him.
She was.
She's
herself.
playing the young girl's mother.
Okay.
So the young girl is being voiced by Rihanna.
Okay.
Which I didn't recognize her voice at first, but yeah, that's Rihanna. And we also have Jim Parsons playing the part of Oo. Is that his name? Oo or O?
So they surrounded the gay man with all these like hot black women?
Apparently. Oh. As well as his leader, I don't know his name, but he's being played by Steve Martin. So,
you know what I watched the other day? This is a huge digression. But Steve and I were talking about The Tonight Show. And we were talking about Johnny Carson.
Okay.
Was it Johnny Carson? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we watched like a thing on Netflix about it. And there was a lot of commentary from Steve Martin. Oh. And I actually, if I can find like the Johnny Carson Tonight Show, I fucking want to watch that shit because
some of the stuff on there was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I fucking love Steve Martin. I fucking love Steve Martin.
But as far as this goes, yeah, I feel like this is kind of a step back for DreamWorks. Because recently they've been doing, How to Train Your Dragon and Rise of the Guardians and Kung Fu Panda.
You saw Dragons 2, right?
No, we haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet?
No. I've heard it's fantastic.
Oh, man, we finally just watched it. So I'm not going to ruin any like plot points, but remember I told you the one guy is gay.
Right.
So he makes a point at one point, because a lot of times he goes, well, that's why I never got married. So there's a point where the Hiccup's parents see each other again, and something big happens, and he goes, that's why I never got married. Well, that and one other reason. And he gives this, like, he looks at the camera with this, like, fucking grin that's like, you know what I mean. And I was like, Steve, he just came out to us, and he's like, that's not what he meant. And I was like, yes, it is, I told you. The hot guy that directed it confirmed it.
What's his name? Oh, God, I forget that character's name.
Yeah, I don't fucking remember.
Hopper, something like that. I forget.
I know the director's name is Dean DeBlois.
Yeah.
And I have shirtless photos of him on my phone.
Anyway, I have to say, I feel like this is a step back for DreamWorks.
It looks like garbage.
It doesn't look like anything that...
It doesn't
it's
look
not the caliber. It's not the same caliber.
It doesn't look like something that could create a franchise.
Right.
I mean, I'm with where Disney is trying to create franchises. DreamWorks has kind of happened upon them.
Right.
They've happened. I mean, How to Train Your Dragon.
Because they got some damn good writers for those properties. Yeah.
I mean, How to Train Your Dragon. Like, I fucking thought that thing looked stupid as shit the first one.
Right. And yet it was fantastic.
And so many people told me to watch it. When I finally did, it really was. The writing, the character development was very well done.
Right.
This just seems like a very amateur story.
Right.
And the world surrounding it just does not seem as impressive as it should.
Now, admittedly, I was laughing at certain parts in this trailer.
Yeah.
Like, towards the end, the whole blue mint lemonade joke. Yeah, I was laughing at that. But I'm like, this doesn't seem like anything that's, franchise worthy. I don't see them making another Home 2 or Home 3 out of this.
No.
Which they don't need to. But
yeah,
I'm like,
you don't have to always make sequels.
No, you don't. But I don't see this appealing to many people.
Something worthwhile.
Right.
Okay.
And the only thing I see them appealing with right now is, we've got this guy dancing to songs with a young black character. So it looks like we've got to appeal to a hip hop crowd. What? So we're going to toss in like, he doesn't know how to dance and now he's dancing. Okay.
That's not true because white people can't do that. That's racist.
But yeah, I don't know if I want to see this. This is the first DreamWorks film in a while that I don't think I want to see.
Yeah, this doesn't look very good.
No. Anyone else have any other thoughts about this one? I mean, I'm not captivated by it at all. No. Despite the fact that it has a pretty good voice cast and it looks like there are some decent jokes. I'm just like, That's all I can say is
Yeah, it doesn't look very good.
No. But
I hate to cut this short, but I do have to go because the restaurant closes at 10.
I understand. You got to get going, but we're going to finish up feature presentations, and
fine.
you can head on out.
All right.
So,
bye, everybody. Thanks for having me like usual.
Aficionado. Thank you for joining us.
Good night.
Good night.
Oodles.
Set that right there.
Okay. All right. Good night, sir.
Good night.
Bye.
So we are going to get into our feature presentations, just Kim and I. Hey. She's giving me such a strange look. She's going to hit me now.
No.
So we only have a few to run through, but there are some big ones on here. First one being Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Right.
So, not much more we can say about this that the trailers haven't already said. But I have noticed a few things about this movie as of late. A lot of the trailers have turned into Christian Bale yelling a lot. Have you noticed that?
No. I haven't really been paying attention.
Every teaser or trailer I've seen or TV spot as of late, Christian Bale is always yelling. If nothing else, he will be the loudest Moses of all time. Apart from that, I mean, we've already discussed the whole whitewashing thing with, them being from that area. We're not going to get into that.
One I thought was interesting, the Weather Channel is actually doing like these little pieces about the movie.
Are they really?
Yeah, like
why the Weather Channel?
Because I didn't actually get to see them. I just heard people talking about them because like I watch it in the morning when I get ready for work, and I always have to like leave, so I don't get to see it. But like they're not only talking about how like weather is playing a role like while they're making the movie, but they do that for a lot of movies.
Right.
They're like discussing possible reasons for the quote unquote plagues or
okay.
Like they were saying, what if the parting of the sea, the Red Sea, was actually a tsunami? That's what caused that. Or there was something else about like rain in, I want to say Ethiopia, but I could be wrong. Like a lot of rain or something caused the water to turn red.
Right, I had heard that it could have
Nile.
been just really agitated algae could turn water red like that, which has happened plenty of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I had heard that in some parts of the Red Sea that at low tide the water will go below sea level and the seabed is exposed.
Yeah.
It's only at certain points of the year, but it will happen.
Right.
So it may have not been instantaneous like they talked about, but this could have occurred where it went from 5 feet deep to just bedrock.
Right.
And
That's
that would have been amazing for people to see, but it could have been a natural occurrence.
Yeah. Like where I think it was, I forget. It was on River Monsters. There was some river where it was like,
right.
Oh my God, I don't even know how many feet of water that goes away at like low tide.
Right.
And then it's like covering trees when it comes in.
Right.
So, but I thought that was interesting.
That
it has
is
really no
intriguing.
bearing on the movie.
No. I'd like to watch that. But no, that's a fair point. I don't think that's what this movie is saying at all, though, sadly.
Right. It was just something neat that I saw.
I will say the plagues in this look really cool.
Yeah.
The parting of the sea looks
really good.
It looks the most practical of any I've seen thus far in movies. It's not like it was in the Ten Commandments when it was really just the walls separating.
Yeah.
And it's not like in the Prince of Egypt where it's just hitting the stratosphere, which was an amazing effect, but that was, fantastic.
Yeah.
This looks like, no, this is actually happening. This is what it would really look like if the sea parted.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But when you see it like that, you're like, I don't imagine this happening. It's almost too real, when you look at it like that. When you see an act of God, you imagine the water shooting miles in the air, or you see it opening like a wall. When I see this, like you say, it looks like a tsunami.
Right.
Which looks more natural, which is almost counterintuitive to what they're trying to say with the movie. So, but that being said, apart from the VFX, all the cast in here, everything we've seen from them, looks promising. Again, we've talked about the whole whitewashing thing, but I don't know if I outright want to see this.
Yeah, I don't think I have really any desire. I feel like, at least me personally, I want to just see new things.
Right. I'm kind of done with the Exodus story.
Yeah, like, I'm done with a lot of stories. Like, I know we talked about before, like Cinderella. Like,
right.
There's no need. Like,
right.
You know,
they're rehashing
it's Moses.
Stuff.
There's no need.
Right. If you don't know the story of Moses, watch the Ten Commandments or the Prince of Egypt, because they are good movies.
Well, Ten Commandments is kind of long. It kind of drags.
Oh, it is
a little,
3.5 hour movie. If you have time for it, watch it. Prince of Egypt is a better, shorter one.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no really burning desire to go see it, but maybe if it's on TV.
Right. That's all we're gonna say. Yeah. If it's on Netflix or if it's
I don't even know if I would go so far as to watch it on Netflix.
You wouldn't pull it up on Netflix? Wow.
No, if it was on TV.
No.
Like,
okay. Something where it's like, okay, I can change this now.
Yeah.
Fair enough. The next one up is something we actually never talked about, which is Top 5. Now, have you seen previews of this recently? It's the Chris Rock film.
Yeah, kind of. I don't think I've ever seen wait, yeah. With Gabrielle Union, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say about this one, because I don't know what it's about. Do you know what it's about?
Something along the lines of, they're like two famous people, and they're gonna, or at least she's famous.
And he seems famous as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And they're gonna, like, I don't know if it's just supposed to be like for publicity, like they're gonna like get married or something, and then like, but they're not really. I don't know. Like really in love. I don't know if that's really what it is or not, but that's one of the impressions I got.
Every preview I've seen has just been, like Chris Rock doing an interview with someone where you can tell he's famous, and him just going out and doing weird stuff that correlates to him being famous.
Yeah. I feel like every trailer I've seen has given me a different impression about the movie.
I'm the same way, and each time I watch it, I'm like, I don't know what this movie is about.
Yeah.
I have no idea. And even the one teaser I saw like a month or so ago, I'm like, I don't know what's going on in this movie.
Right.
I don't. And every TV spot, I'm going to have to go back and like find like an official trailer in order to find out what this is about, so where they explain it.
Well, I thought that I had seen something where like he's talking to different people, and then like he sees, I don't know, maybe someone from his past. That's what I inferred. And then like, goes and like has a fling with her, but like for publicity, he's still with Gabrielle Union.
I see. All right.
But that could be 100% wrong. I don't really know.
If that's the case, okay, that I get that story.
But I don't understand the title.
Right, Top 5.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say? Are you saying you're trying to be like the top 5 relationships in Hollywood, or top 5 actors? I don't know what this movie is trying to. I don't know. And this movie has only been advertised, or maybe like I've only seen the previews in the last week and a half.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is something I really just don't care about. Not because it's necessarily bad or something that I don't want to see, just because I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing here that warrants me going out of my way to want to know anything about it,
Right.
Nothing here's piqued my interest. I'm sorry.
It just seems all over the place.
It seems very all over the place. But the final one we have up is a very big one. The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies.
Oh.
And I like the advertising campaign they now have for this, which is...
It's the last one ever.
Last time.
Yeah.
And that breaks my heart. I'm like, oh, God. Now it's like, if you weren't going to see it before, you're seeing it now. It's like, yeah, for maybe the next 40, 50 years until someone decides to go and remake Lord of the Rings, we're not going to get another trip to Middle-earth. I'm like, oh, God. I have to see this. It's Middle-earth. I'm sorry.
It'll always be there.
Yeah, but it's the last one.
No.
Oh,
not really.
And
I'm sure they'll re-release something.
Oh, yeah, they'll probably do that.
3D or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I'm sure they will. When the 20th anniversary comes around to the first movie, which will be in like 5 years, they'll re-release it, I'm
exactly.
sure. IMAX. They'll release an IMAX 3D. Yeah, which I'll probably be a sucker and go see it.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, this series of films thus far has been, I'll say it, a little disappointing.
Not on par.
Not on par. Now, you can chalk that up to saying, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't have stretched one 300-page book to three films.
I think I said that at the beginning.
Right.
When I didn't know that they were making 3.
Right. And I think a lot of people have said that. And there's now a growing meme which has come out with this movie now being released, which was Bilbo from the very first movie when he's talking to Gandalf. He's like, I feel thin, like one book stretched into 3 movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I could even maybe understand 2.
And that was the original plan. They planned 2 movies.
Yeah.
And then New Line Cinema said, 3. And Peter Jackson's like, there's not enough here for 3.
Yeah.
And then somehow they still made each movie like 2.5 hours. Like, if you're going to make it into 3, make them short movies.
Right.
You know, make them an hour and a half. I'd love that.
Yeah.
Get in, have a little bit of Middle Earth, and get out. That's fine. But not everyone has to be a 2-hour, 2.5-hour epic.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't have enough material to pad everything. So, that all being said, I cannot wait for this one. I wasn't a huge fan of Desolation of Smaug. The first one I actually kind of liked. But I've always loved the Battle of the 5 Armies. When I was reading The Hobbit, I loved that section of the book. Just the idea of how big this battle is. Okay. When I read the books, was like, oh my god, I would love to see this battle. Because it's so incredibly epic. Something along the lines of like the Battle of Minas Tirith. That large. And that's what's going to occur at the gates of Erebor. I'm like, yes, I want to see this battle so bad. And I hope they get all the geography right of how these armies collide with each other and how they fight, because it would be so great if they got that down. I don't know how much of this is going to be the battle, because there's a lot of stuff that still has to happen before the battle. Stuff that they thought they were going to cover in the last movie, but then they left for this one, which tells me, wow, you still have to cover a lot with Smaug. You have to cover a lot with the armies approaching, which is like over a week period. You still have to address what happened to Gandalf, and now with Galadriel showing up, which does not happen in the book, I believe. You have to address a lot of stuff. This could be like another 3-hour movie. I'm like, oh my god. I know, this is going to be an endurance test. It really is.
I'm too tired to think about all of this.
Right. Maybe it wouldn't have been as long if they hadn't thrown in pointless love interests with dwarves and elves, you know?
Stupid.
Agreed. But...
Stupid.
Despite that, I'm sure both you and I are going to see this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a lover of dwarf mythology. I love everything about the dwarves.
Yeah.
And when I go in, I probably will be singing, I'm going to be singing Misty Mountain Cold, which is a song they sing in the first one when they're lamenting about the Misty Mountain.
Then I'm not going with you.
What?
Then I'm not going with you.
Why?
Because.
Far over.
No.
I'm
gonna leave.
No!
But then you'll be left by yourself to finish.
Podcasting by myself, I can't do that. So anyway, I want to thank the Goddess of Gore for coming by.
Uh-huh.
And I want to thank the Superhuman Aficionado for coming by, even though he's not here right now. I'm sure he thanks you guys as well for tuning in. And he's off having some Thai food right now, I'm sure. But I'm sure he thanks you. And I, once again, am the Projectionist. Now, before we sign off, I want to say one more thing, which is going to be for next week's podcast, which is going to be our Christmas special. Now, I bring this up because I want to have you guys submit one question, or one answer to this question, I should say. If you could have any crossover for Christmas, what would it be? And when I say crossover, I mean if you could have any property that you love combined with another property, what would it be? Would you combine Lord of the Rings with Game of Thrones? Would you combine Twilight with Blade? Would you combine Gosh, I don't know. Give me another example. What's
I
something...
was too busy thinking about, no, I wouldn't want Twilight with anything.
Okay, combine Underworld with Blade. How about that?
Maybe.
What is there anything you've ever liked to have been combined? Like you'd like to see a crossover?
I've never thought about it.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
this is why I'm asking this question. And you guys have about a week to think about this. If there's anything you would like crossed over to be blended together, even for just one time, what would you like to see brought around? Because recently
Her and Terminator.
That's pretty good. Her and Terminator. All right, good. That's a good one. So I want you to think of one for next time.
I just did.
Okay. That's a good one, but think of one that you would like legitimately think that would be made into either comic or book form or something along those lines, or television. And guys, don't say Marvel and DC because they already have that. It's called Amalgam, and you should just go read Amalgam because it's actually kind of good in parts. So don't say Marvel and DC. But anything else?
So now everyone's going to say Marvel and DC.
Oh, everyone's going to say Marvel and DC now. Damn trolls. So you guys think of an answer for that question, and we will be back in a week or two with our Christmas podcast. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good night, and take care.
Bye.